Okay, we're now live. How about that? We had some technical difficulties before. We appreciate you for hanging in there. I am Quinton Flynn. Some might say Quinton Flynn 1. Well, yes. The reason I'm Quinton Flynn 1 instead of just Quinton Flynn is because Quinton Flynn was taken by another party or platform that has not been in use for years. It was never in use. Someone took the name Quinton Flynn and posted a picture of a child, a baby, an infant, a wee one. No posts, no followers, not following. I think a number of years ago we tried getting a hold of said party and they must not have access to it any longer. So who knows? Maybe one day we will get to the bottom of this mystery. But right now, all I can tell you is we are here now, live. I'm reporting for you and to you and with you on this Quinton Flynn 1 channel. Here now the news. Nobody has given me my pages, so let me see what I have. Here we go. Oh, those are tax returns. We'll read from the book of Johnny in the meantime. I know you're very excited to see me start signing photos. Prints, as it were, 8x10s. I am too. Curious if any of you have popped in last night for the last minute reverie that I decided to share with you. So let's see, while you're all signing in and saying hello and, oh, what's this? There's a message inside of this book. Message in the bottle. Oh, well, this is a receipt for all the books I bought last year in July. Handwritten receipt. You don't get many of those lately, do you? No. Not often, I should say. Not lately, not often. Neither, either, or. How many of you are keeping score? Let's pull the hair back so we can see a bit more of the visage. A little bit less of the payload. Eh? Not payload, payload. Pelo es español for hair. Sí, es verdad. Okay, vamos. Cuando Newton y his grupa later acquired the Aladdin, noticia reportas held that ellos beat out Carson para the hotel. No es verdad. Wayne and his grupo were the solamente bidders. Juan had withdrawn with zero hard feelings. And as time went on, however, Juan became increasingly annoyed that A was being portrayed as having lost out to Newton. It's kind of like the Jay Leno and Conan story, but not. He called me, llámame, and numerous occasions to get Juan to silencio, be quiet. Y no more chistes, no more jokes. No hay más chistes, no chistes hay más, no. Johnny didn't agree and he kept up with the chistes. So what did we take away from that? This is going to be a verbal test. You're not going to have to actually come up with anything that would be written. Now what I've just shown you is the wrong way to put on men's cologne. Okay? Ladies probably already know that. Then again, maybe they don't. Here's what I'm doing. I wipe the extra off my hands that are on my neck and I'm putting it on my body. A friend of mine, we'll call him John because that's his name, told me once, Quinton, there are people who are allergic to colognes and perfumes. So if you're going to wear them, wear only a little. And the way to do it is to take it and spray into the air, and if you must, walk into it. So then you have a little bit of a scent. The other way I've done it before is I've sprayed into the air onto my hand, let it dry. And then a little there. It's just enough that nobody notices it, until they get within, I can't believe I said until they get within distance to have a conversation with you. And then they would notice it, and then they'd say, wow, that smells wonderful. What are you wearing? I'd say, my blazer. I love how everything just stopped there. Yeah, that was a joke. Well, let's see who joined. I'm waiting for some prints to be delivered. And I will tell you that we have a special guest today. Not for a while. His name is Jamie Christofferson. And he composed all of the music for Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. He will be here today, and we'll be having a chat with him, and I'll be interviewing him. Or he'll be sharing with us. Jamie, if you're out there, whatever makes you feel the most comfortable. No worries. It'll be easy. And it won't be for a while, because once the prints are delivered here, hot off the presses, I will start signing them as instructed by my infamous assistant, who is not here at the moment. Somebody saying, let's go! You and Raiden look very similar. Not judging. Not trying to be rude, just saying. Jamie has also done the music for Funtown. Well, thanks for that. I'm sure he'll be glad to know that, because he may not have known. What's up, Sugar? Shay. My friend Sugar Shay shaken. Sugar Shay shaken but not stirred. Thank you for your message the other day, your text the other day. How's it going, eh? Rough start to a new year, but that's okay. I look forward to catching up with you. And I hope you're doing well. Look at all these things. Rules of nature! Thank you. The _ heart, La555 _ the samurai. Thank you, everybody. Wow, I got the heat on because it's bloody cold in here, and now my nose is starting to run. Oh, you better catch it then, you better catch it. Oh, you're hilarious. Why don't I have a cup of Route 66? Say, you ever go to use a hand sanitizer, drink it by accident? Me neither. Something fell. Oh. Ah. I am lightning the rain transformed. Yes, we will be doing it. Keep coming in, folks. Look at this. 68, 69, 70. Where's Raiden at? Yeah, where is? It's actually where is Raiden, but... Yo, where's Raiden at? How you doing? I'm from Cleveland. Where's Raiden at? Where you at? Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. It goes out to Sugar. By request. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. The prints are here. How about that? Oh, thank you very much. Oh, you like The Heart Won't Die? Yes. That was a good time with that band. Good band. Recall. Right?
Remind.
Remind. Remind?
Yeah.
Is it Remind? Yeah, it is Remind. Somebody had to remind me of that. Let's see. Let me back up these questions here for a moment, just to see if I can.
Where'd you find the phone thing?
I didn't. La-di-dee, la-di-da. Hey, Sarah, what's happening? Hey, Kate, thank you. You love the heart won't die. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Lovely, lovely. Ooh. We have a question. Do I recall working on Armored Core 4 by any chance? It was recorded at Studiopolis with Jack Fletcher as the director. Well, oh my goodness. You know, I don't remember working on that specific title. If you told me the name of the character I voiced, I might. But of course, I love Jack Fletcher. And I haven't worked with him in a number of years. The last few projects Jack and I worked on together were when I played Silver the Hedgehog. And Jack, as far as I know, is still based in San Francisco, or the greater San Francisco area. Great man, funny man, smart man, talented man. And pay no attention to the noise behind me, the ripping and the shredding and the boxing and the punching and the hitting and the kicking. That is from the prints that have been delivered to the home here.
I look, you got a couple send-ins of Axel.
Oh, great. Okay, that's great. We got some mail-ins of Axel, as well as some send-ins, as they are called. And why don't I just start saying hello to people at the moment here? Hello, Heather Valerie. Hello, Robin Missouri. Drake Lore 86. Wow, this is hard. If you had regular names, it'd be easier. Tabizzle 32. Sunshine something. Mac Alpha sure. As signed _ Denise. Hey, extras Wazy. Mike Rosa. Mauricio. Marino Greva. Axel number 8. Cheryl something. Snake Killer. Arif. Outside Heaven. This is a deep cut, but do you have any knowledge on the way back game is still Metal Gear Solid Rising? No, I don't. Antoni, Sunshine Breeze, Negrant, Simone, Gon Safarna, Little B, Heather Valerie, Insane Raccoon, Sunshine Breeze, Summer Breeze, makes me feel fine. Going through the jasmine, flowing through the jasmine of my mind. Summer breeze makes me feel fine. Blowing through the jasmine of my mind. Sing it if you know it. We've got the jasmine. Where's the summer breeze? Feeling so tired, oh, I'm feeling at ease, feeling chubs. I ate too much last night, woke up with a fright. These aren't the words to this song, making it up as I go along. It's called improvisation. You try finding a word that rhymes along. Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine of my mind. There is the jasmine in this summer song. Is this helpful? Do you need this or no?
No, I don't.
That's good, because I don't know where the plug is. And the jasmine just comes along. Actually, it would be good if does this have Instagram on it?
I don't know if you downloaded it or not.
I've never downloaded anything. Just whatever was on my phone, I think, is kind of what pops up. Maybe I will try. Oh, who's calling? Oh, it's Jamie. Hi, Jamie. Just letting you know I'm in the room now. No rush, but I'm here when you need me. Thank you, buddy. And there is no rush, my friend. I would say you've got a good hour.
I'm organizing the prints now.
Because we haven't gotten it on with the prints yet. We had prints delivered today. There were some that were missing in action. And so we had to make sure that that was taken care of. I've already told the folks about you. And, dear Lord, Daddy needs a hair clip. Although I've got a tie in my pocket. Oh, what's this? Can someone say medication? Sure. Who says that? I don't know. It might be the birds. Why is my face this close? Because I can't read your tiny little words. Thank you. Mo mix. Can you say Aruga Umina in Aruga Umina's voice? Don't worry, Naruto, and got into I could, but I'm not going to. I'm sorry, I don't take requests. Okay, cool. Keep it on the background. Just let me know. Have fun. I will, Jamie. Yeah, keep it in the background if it's cool, brother. So Jamie Christopherson, ladies and gentlemen, they, by the way, Jamie, in case you weren't on, they had mentioned to me, one of the fans, that you did music for Funtown. And I said, well, Jamie will be glad to know that, in case he didn't. Favorite quotes? Sexy quotes from Axel and Reno, please. Well, Kingdom_Hearts_Alex. You could write yours in there, because you have them. I'll bet. I actually don't. When I don't hear myself the way you guys do. I don't really. I know it'll sound crazy, but I don't listen to my work. I don't watch my work because I was inspired by other people, and I get inspired by other people. But I will look at my work when I have to look at my work. Yes, Marina Grigovera. Jamie is here, or Jaime, depending on what language you're having. Am I having a good day? Yes, I am having a good day. How does it feel to be so legendary? It feels... Oh, it says Jamie is within all of us. I'll say it loud just in case he's not within earshot. But I will repeat it if I can remember when he is here. Jamie is within all of us. That's what it says, Jamie. I don't know how you get around so quickly and so much. You're like Santa Claus. If Santa Claus was a whore. What? My ears are ringing for me and my gal. The song we're singing for me and my gal. I'll read the words I see for me and my gal. I love your hair, my dude, for me and my gal. I'm trying to order's Raiden sword from Amazon. I'll tell you what a reef. In the meantime, go to streamily.com/Quinton Flynn and get a print instead. Right now, you'll have something special, like Adios Amigos. The Adios Amigos print. Well, there's also more than that. You can get anything you want. There's the Adios Amigos print. Oh my goodness.
What'd you do?
I knocked over something. It was behind my elbow, so I can't tell you what it was. There's also this print. There's also this print. I'll tell you, we're going Metal Gear crazy here. That's right. Swords sold separately. Imagine if Kingdom Hearts... I will. The sombrero hat one. Yes, you can order that. That is the newest, latest special edition print. Sombrero. That's when Axel picked up that in Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Only Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. He wore it, and he said, I'll put this on, as well as a poncho. He said, no one will recognize me. Yes, can you believe that? I can. Adios, amigos. This you can get if you go to streamily.com/Quinton Flynn now or anytime here while I'm on the air. Pay for it, and I will sign it live in front of you here, and it will be mailed out to you in your home. This is true. I know the scene, it is funny. It cracks me up too. All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves for a moment. I'm just going to take a pause. I'm going to show you a couple of my favorite prints. Maybe I'll show you a few of my favorite prints while you're there. Oops. And these are not Metal Gear related, even though that's what this print session is all about. The prints I'm about to show you are prints that are also at Streamily.com, and they are, yes, Cone from Bleach. And he's on Ichigo's shoulder, and the shop in the background is called Lawson's. Now, Lawson's was a corner store for milk and orange juice, eggs, coffee, things of that nature. When I was growing up in beautiful little Mayfield Village, Ohio, as a kid, I was outside of Cleveland in northeast Ohio. And we had Lawson's, and they also sold orange juice fresh from Florida, which was a big thing back then. Sadly, sometime, I don't know, between the 60s and maybe the early 80s, Lawson's disappeared. And I think they disappeared from all of America, but don't quote me there. And I had forgotten about it in theory, but it was always in my heart. There were wonderful commercials we grew up on. The place always made us happy, and it made me think of times as a child riding my bicycle or walking up to the store. And suddenly I found myself in Japan for 2 conventions back in 2019, I think it was. And there was an area, we were in Okinawa, and another couple of actors, a group of actors who would become friends joined me there. But I knew Olivia Hack at the time and Derek Stephen Prince. I would go on to meet my dear friend Megan Hollingshead and her husband Drake. And a whole slew of other folks. But the point is, it was my birthday on the 10th of October. So we went, Olivia and I decided to go shopping. She wanted to go out, and, she's great when she's out and about. She loves going to different locations, areas of interests, places to shop, new places to eat. I think she should have her own travel show. I've told her that before. I hope she does sometime. And we went to, I think it was called American Town. She would know better than I. And we got there, and there were kind of all things American or Americana, and they were from years gone by. 70s decade, 80s decade, some 60s. And we were looking at everything, and it was wonderful. We got outside, and there was, a Japanese lantern, and there was a little riverbed, and there were lovely restaurants, and there were bicycles, and it was just a sunny, beautiful day. It was just idyllic. And I looked in the distance, and I saw a Lawson's sign, just like I did in this print, this brand new print right here. It might be backwards there. So in other words, it's still Lawson's backward here. It's the law, son. And I shared that excitement with Olivia, but she didn't have it growing up in Southern California, Los Angeles. So it just was amazing to me. Again, forgot all about it. And then this year, that is one of the standout prints that Samantha and I saw and decided we've got to get it. Not only because it's adorable, but I love that fact that there was that Lawson's connection that we had found. Never lost. If it's in your heart, you may find it. Do I still sing songs? I do. Am I a musician still? Yes. Am I in a group? I'm not in a group right now, but I do have 2 songs that are waiting to be released. Producer Mark Danzeisen has been very patient with me, but is disappointed I haven't released the songs yet that he engineered, produced, and played numerous instruments on with me, the 2 of us together. So yes, there are 2 songs I will be releasing very soon indeed, and I will sing in a moment. We're waiting for prints to print up. Are you doing paperwork or?
Yeah, I'm almost done.
Okay, because I was like, I don't know what prints you need. Okay, so what else do I have here that you will enjoy, or that I will enjoy showing you? Oh yes, it's another new print for this year. Yes, Ultimate Spider-Man. And you might be asking yourself, Quinton, why do you have Spider-Man Ultimate Alliance? Why would you be signing this print? Fans out there will know it's because I'm indeed your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And I played Spider-Man in Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, directed by Margaret Tang. And Spider-Man was one of my favorite, if not my favorite, superhero growing up. I used to collect the comics, the comic books rather, and watch the cartoon reruns that they had. And fantastic, huge Spider-Man fan. And for my money, Spider-Man was the first stand-up comic superhero, right? Before Deadpool. And really, Deadpool is, he grew to become that. He had a certain, I assume, wit in the written comics, but when brought to the big screen, Ryan Reynolds brought a particular comedy style that, well, actually, there was another comic Samantha and I were watching recently, another film, and I'm trying to think of who the actor or comic was, and he had a particular style that was already out there, and it kind of became a style of the time, and we wondered if Ryan Reynolds didn't pick up on that. At any rate, Spider-Man. Let's go back, get back on topic. These are also for sale at Streamily.com/Quinton Flynn. And speaking of Deadpool, I was on a series called Cartoon Hookups, which you can see for free on what? YouTube. That's right. You can go there now, but I wouldn't. I would wait. Unless you have multiple platforms and you have that ability, then you go right ahead. Don't you let me get in your way of your fun. I don't want to get in the way of your fun. You're going to be doing a little bit of Mary Jane and Spider-Man in the future? Okay. Very good, Gabby. How about Timon from The Lion King? I noticed you voiced him too. Thank you for the good memories, Mr. Flynn. Well, as a matter of fact, Nathan Lane was the original voice in the motion picture, but I did play Timon in Around the World with Timon and Pumbaa. I replaced Nathan for that first season. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's all problem-free. Pumbaa. Philosophy, don't fart. Hakuna Matata. Timon and Pumbaa. Sound familiar? Yes, it should. Yeah, I think you can get that print there too. And if not, go there and call me a liar. And finally, I will show you Iruka Sensei, which some of you have been asking me about. I am Iruka Sensei. I look out for Naruto. Ah! If you're good, I'll take you out for some ramen. If you're not, I'll take you out for some ramen. How bad is my morning hair? I don't have bad morning hair, Ryan Harris _. Because once it gets this long, it does, well, it's, the only thing it does is get in your face. When I have her shorter hair, then I might have bad morning hair. Marina Grigobera _1988, you're welcome.
please do Sheldon for me? I'm Sheldon. I'm in love with Jenny. She's a teenage robot.
My life is a teenage robot. That was Jenny. And Sheldon. And XJ9. XJ9 is Jenny, but, her mother, essentially the doctor, the good doctor, would say, XJ9, what are you doing? If Candy Milo were here, she would do that. I'm looking forward to setting up a podcast at some point and having interviews with folks I know from the voiceover world, but I digress. Today we have a special guest named Jamie Christopherson. That's right. Jamie with a J, Christopherson with a CH. In case you forget about the H, it is silent, but he isn't. No, folks, these are moving pictures. He will be speaking if we're lucky. If not, I will just have to interpret the emotions on his face, if he has any.
Just about.
Did the screen freeze? No, it didn't. That's me doing comedy. If you don't think it's funny, you might be on the wrong channel. Okay, the one who composed Rules of Nature. That's right, Arif_sketches. He will be here. Can you have a shout out for your 18th birthday as Raiden? You were a Metal Gear Solid fan for so long a time. For a long time. You're only 18. How long could it be? Kidding. Oh, shout out for Jamie. You got it. Jamie, you got a shout out. Tip of the hat for you, 18-year-old. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, now you're 18. Happy birthday to you and many more. Yes, Mac, I did add that. Jamie Christopherson, yes, he is a legendary man. And he did Toontown also, as well as, I thought you said Funtown before. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he did Funtown and Toontown. Maybe he has done every town there is that needs music composition. Yes, of course I can still do Jack the Ripper voice, but thank you. I'm Jack the Ripper. I don't think he ever said I'm Jack the Ripper. I think he said, now it's time for Jack to let her rip. And yes, he was called Jack the Ripper. He was called many things. I evolved as the character from Metal Gear Solid 2 to Metal Gear Solid 4 to Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. And in fact, you can see the duplicitousness of his nature here as Raiden, a.k.a. Jack, and Jack the Ripper. That's right, I said duplicitousness. Look it up. If you like seeing him just shred and rip. Rules of nature! Those are my lyrics. I actually was in New York City back in 2016, 2017 doing a panel, and someone said something about Rules of Nature, and they wanted me to sing it. And I didn't know the theme, so instead I made up my own music, and I sang Rules of Nature as if it were done by Metallica. Rules of nature! Coming down on you! Rules of nature! You know it's gonna be true! Number one! Number two, rules of nature. Adios, amigos. Go to streamily.com/Quinton Flynn. He will sign this for you and you'll get it. Rules of nature. Okay.
I'm ready whenever you want.
I just need pens. These are all good?
You got them, yeah.
All right. All right, gang. So, that's the pre-show. I hope you enjoyed that. And, am I aware of the massive resurgence in popularity of Metal Gear Rising? Yes, I am. You know what's interesting? We had 68 people, and I started performing, and it dwindled to 50. What's that about? Short attention spans, I say. All right, I'm going to start signing so that those who want it or need it or want to have it, get it. And, yeah. How about that? And then we can get on with having the famous, fabulous Jamie Christopherson on. Or should I have him on first?
No, we can do this first.
Yeah, but what?
We can do this first. Are you
Should I
using the iPhone?
I don't have to. It's charging.
Oh, okay. Well, I was only asking because I probably need to charge my phone.
Oh, well then let me have the pad. It's brand new. It's charging. Yeah. So anyway, back to you. Trying to be present and clever for you. What do you say? Haters, get it with an Y? David Hater. I don't know. Glad to know these are the highlights of your week. This is the highlight of your week. Excellent. You think everybody was wanting to hear about Metal Gear news or something? Well, they can. No. You know. Well, whatever. You loved my preference as Spider-Man in Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. That's because, Mike Parker, Spider-Man, you have good taste. You're very insightful, and you get it.
What?
Could you close that door?
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting to feel the heat.
Yeah, I can.
Feel the heat burning you up, ready or not. Some like it hot and some sweat when the heat is on. Some feel the heat and decide that they can't go on. Some like it hot, but you can't tell how hot till you try. Some like it hot. If any of you out there are percussionists or instrumentalists or composers like Jamie Christopherson, who will be our guest later, you will note that when I was singing that song and snapping the timing of the drums, it's no small feat. And I don't have small feet. But, yeah, I was impressed with myself. I was not on 100%. I was on 99%. But hey, I'm not a robot or a drum machine. Toothache. What do you mean, what am I saying? Oh, that's somebody else. Sorry. I took it so personally. This moment being sponsored by Scooters. Scooters tea. It's icy. Okay. First up, hey, let's get going here. Make this out to Eric Verdi, or Eric Verde. Verdi. Because not Verde, that would be green, Verde, with an E, but this has an I at the end. Please write, I am lightning, the rain transformed, from Mr. Lightning Bolt. I love your work. Your work has truly impacted a huge part of my life. Smiley face. Thank you, Eric. See? That's Eric right there. And, where are we? Oh gosh, what color shall I use? I think silver. I hope this works. Let me write it. There it is. Eric? Oh, wow. I think so. Eric. I am lightning, the rain transformed from Mr. Lightning Bolt. I am lightning, the rain transformed. That's a big long word. From Mr. Lightning Bolt, a.k.a. Quinton Flynn. But I won't be putting the a.k.a. There's no room for that. My goodness. Does that work? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Because I always look down, but then I look up. Yeah, sure, it's there. It's gorgeous. My God, look at that. You can have that too. And that goes out to you, Eric. And I'm ready for the next print. I guess we should always make sure we check the backs of the prints to make sure they go along with the numbers on the pages. I'm sure you're doing that right.
I'm ahead of you.
You're ahead of me, Okay, as long as I don't find any on the floor where we go. What's that? Hey, Miles Lopez. This goes out to Miles Lopez. Add a quote, please. Well, I will, Miles, but you're not telling me which one. So I'll have to make up one for Miles Lopez. For Mr. Lightning Bolt. Hey! Dun, 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 dun. Mr. Lightning Bolt. Dun, 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 dun. From Mr. Lightning Bolt. Hey! Dun, 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 dun. For Mr. Lightning Bolt. That's me! Raiden is Mr. Lightning Bolt. Mr. Lightning Bolt. Mr. Lightning Bolt. Mr. Lightning Bolt. This is a little dark, but I'll try it anyway. So I'm a rambler, I'm a gambler. Miles Lopez. Oh, I pushed a little too hard on this. I wonder. I don't like that. I'm going to use this as my test print. Why isn't this... I don't like the ink on this. It doesn't... It's a little schmeary. Miles Lightning Bolt. He's Mr. Lightning Bolt. Mr. Lightning Bolt. I get to put a quote. I'll do this one instead. To Miles. Hey, talk amongst yourselves, folks. Mr. Lightning Bolt. Mr. Lightning Bolt. Hey! Mr. Lightning Bolt. Mr. Lightning Bolt. That's a new theme. You like it, Chris? You don't have to respond by text, but, you know, you can tell me when you come on. I think it's pretty good. I think it's very hooky. If I was Mr. Lightning Bolt, I would probably like that. But I'm not. Miles, this is for you. Let her rip. Now it's time for Jack to let her rip. You see that? Now somebody will say, I didn't see it. Show it again. No, I won't. You can't make me. Someone said they're so hyped. Oh, it's Giovanna. Or Jovan. I'm glad. How was it finally to get a Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 3? It was. It was excellent. You were this week old when you realized that Jack and Rose and Tanker Crash was a Titanic reference. Were they really? I didn't know that. Did you know that? Jack and Rose were Titanic. I didn't put that together either. Is it true? Now, were Jack and Rose just character names in the movie, the script for Titanic, or were they actual passengers? That's a question. Talk amongst yourselves and put up the answer. Okay, this one goes out to Michelle Ruby Del Cid, or Del Cid, for you Americans out there, you Westerners. Quinton, I would love a special message from you, and I want to thank you for giving me a moment of your time to sign this print for me. God bless. God bless you. I appreciate that so much, Michelle. All the best, and God bless. Michelle. I'm speechless. Thank you. That's very kind, very kind. Is it this one? Yes, it is this one. Okay. All right, folks.
Someone said your character from Armored Core 4 from earlier is Sir Morescu?
I don't know what you just said.
And he sounded like Raiden.
I'm sorry?
Someone asked you a question about Armored Core earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't know what character you were.
Oh, what was it?
Sir Morescu?
Could you spell it?
Maurescu. And he sounded similar to...
Morescu or Moresque or Morriscu or more.
No, I'm not sure.
We don't know. I'm not sure. If it sounded like Raiden, that would make sense because my voice. Now, here's a question to you. Did I do that character for Jack before the Metal Gear series? I'm going to guess yes, because I don't remember it during it, and I don't remember it's a character doing a character that sounded like Jack. Although anything's possible. Anything's possible. The memes. The memes. Mr. Lightning Bolt and Mr. Storm are one and the same. Someone asks, how can you get my autograph? Very simple. Go to streamily.com/Quinton Flynn Hunter. Not Quinton Flynn Hunter, but this is to Hunter _ F3R _ SHZ. Yeah, if you just go to streamily.com/_Quinton Flynn. You will see it in the stream right now, or the thread, or the chat, actually. It's in the chat right now. Samantha popped that in there for you. And if you go to that link, you can get my autograph on any number of prints. Now, for me to get back to Michelle Ruby Del Cid. Oh, you know what I just thought of? There's that print that we have to mail out that's on the counter. All I have to do is sign my name on it. But we should sign that separately, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Michelle. I did sign something personal and special just for you. I hope I spelled everything correct or correcto. And it looks like this. I know, you can't read it backwards. I understand, folks. I understand. Here you go. Thank you. Something else is coming up next. Very excited about that. And you know, I tell you, I'm going to have to set this up next time so that I have a big screen in front of me or to my left where I can actually see all of your questions and comments, but that's okay. You can always add them. You're asking about the armors on the Metal Gear characters in Monster Hunter from me and Sarah. Okay, it's somebody else. Can an autograph be shipped in Eastern France? Great question. One for Streamily. If you go to Streamily, put in your information and see. I have a feeling it's a possibility. I don't know for sure. So go to streamily.com/Quinton Flynn. And another question about can it be shipped to Asia? You'll find out if you go to Streamily. Because I don't sign them here. What we do is I sign them here and we ship them to Streamily, and Streamily ships them to you. So Streamily does the major shipping outside of the United States, if they do outside of the United States. I think there's a possibility they do, but I do not know where. How about that? This next one goes out to Anthony. You can see right there backwards, Anthony. Can I get you to sign it for 10 years of Metal Gear Rising? Absolutely. A decade of hits, if you will, to Anthony. Okay, Anthony. This is going out to Anthony. 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 Anthony, for 10 years of Metal Gear Rising. "10 years. A decade. It doesn't seem that long to me, and yet it seems longer. That's the topic. Talk amongst yourselves. You know what the nice thing about this, folks, is? It's fun. I have fun signing this and talking to you. There you go, Anthony. For 10 years. You will notice, folks, that I am mixing it up between the colors of silver and gold. Silver and gold for the prince. Silver and gold. Silver and silver and silver and gold. That was a song from one of those lovely Rankin Bass Christmas cartoons. Kind of stop motion, if you will. And that was sung by Burl Ives. Silver and gold, silver and gold. 10 years and the game is still good. I'd say it's beyond good. It's got another decade in it for sure. And next up we have, thank you, a print made out to Noxy. I know the name Noxy, Noxy. And there are no special instructions except to sign it during the live streaming. And there is Noxy. 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 Some like it hot and some sweat when the heat is on. Do, 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 do. Some like it hot. And there it is, Noxy. Much love. Here you go. And we are rocking and rolling. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the heat. I'm feeling the heat.
Okay,
What do you think?
that's fine too.
Is it a good idea? No.
Well, you can,
If I can multitask?
yeah.
Right, maybe not. Okay. I was whispering to my missus over here. Had a thought about something. And, right. So, we're going to do the next one. Which is... We do now. This is pretty much an autograph signing, not a reveal stream. Hey, I like you, Eddie Monkey Butt _YT_. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I like that you guys are talking to each other. I think that's good.
Alright, sorry.
What do you need?
Nothing, it just knocked my stuff out of order for a second, but I got it.
Okay. This one goes out to Evan. There you go. Evan. If any of you are out there saying, you're doing that just like David Letterman used to do it to camera, you're right. I'm not going to use this big pen because it's not going to even make a dent. But Evan wants the sombrero, which is awesome. My favorite print currently. My favorite print. Get it and get it. Why not? Wow. In fact, let me do that instead. I had a dream. Oh, yeah. Hey, folks, look at this. To Evan. Adios, amigos. I dig it. Right in the sombrero. Ow, did you ever get hit in the sombrero? It hurts. It's so good. There you go. Thank you, Evan. Appreciate that. Really do. And I know you appreciate it too. Let's see what else is going on here. Hello, Mac. I'll miss you for 5 minutes. From Mr. _ Ripper _ Hi, Quinton. Greetings from Argentina. Argentina. Can you please say I have no family from Raiden, please? Thank you. From Raiden. I have no family. Story time. Is this story time? Is that what you're saying? So I should be telling a story? Or are you guys talking about story time? The Teen Titans episode with thunder and lightning. When you got the notification that I went live, you started laughing. I would too.
Lightning! I was lightning!
That's right. Isn't that weird? Lightning, the rain transformed, and I was on Teen Titans. I played the role of lightning.
I'm lightning!
Got it memorized. Thank you. All right, this one goes out to Celia. Wow. Cecilia. Happy birthday, Cecilia. There was a song by Simon and Garfunkel called Celia or Cecilia? Cecilia. Either way, Cecilia. You're breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence lately. Oh, Cecilia, I'm down on my knees. I'm begging you, please, to come home. Come on home. Okay, this is happy birthday to Cecilia. Happy birthday to Cecilia. Cecilia. Happy birthday, dear Cecilia. Cecilia. Cecilia, Cecilia. Happy birthday to Cecilia. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Happy birthday, Cecilia. Much love. Look at that. There you go, Cecilia. Happy birthday. Much love. Good. Excellent. Great. Loving it. More. Fantastic. Lady Cientia. Are you Cecilia? You might be Cecilia. You're crying. Oh my God, thank you. You are welcome. If that was you. Cientia. Unless somebody wrote something to you and you cried with tears of joy. That's always possible too. Wait a minute. Oh, this is another one for Cecilia.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, well, when you said another one, I took it as something else. I thought it was another... Never mind. Another request or somebody had bought something while we were sitting here. Cecilia, it's another birthday, and this one is for Reno. Requests there for Reno.
Oh, yeah, she said it's her 30th birthday today.
30th? Mm-hmm. 30. Celia, happy 30th birthday to you. I'm glad I was singing it to you and for you. Where are you in the world right now? I know you're here in the room with us, but where are you? 30th. Awesome. Cecilia, happy birthday. I have to write this while I'm thinking, or while I'm not. I'll do it 2 ways here. To Cecilia. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, baby. Ooh. I love you too. 16 candles. I got interrupted by a phone call on that, folks. That was not good. I need to get another one of these prints.
Oh my goodness.
Huh?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I didn't have my phone on Do Not Disturb, and a phone call came in from a dear friend of mine, but that wasn't good because it threw me off right in the middle.
Fired.
I'm not. They are. But I know what you mean. I am for that moment, but that'll mess anybody up. And I wish there was a way for me to put a block on while I'm online, but I don't think I can. Let me take a quick look without going offline. No. Yes. I see. Hello. That's better. Isn't that better? Yeah, it's better for all of us. Thank you. I had to, yeah. Is it glitched for everyone? Probably was. Yes, Patriots did pause the stream. Yeah, that was done intentionally because I had a phone call that interrupted us, and I had to put the block on. And I let a friend of mine know, hey, on Instagram Live, come watch, come join. Oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. Thank you. Oh, I need a tissue. Okay. Now we're back to Cecilia. Happy. I bet you didn't think you'd hear me do a live sneeze on your birthday. Look at my nose, it's red.
Like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I want to be a dentist.
Oh, God. It's not me, it's the marker. It says 165 on the back.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to do another one. Thank you. Okay.
David Kessler, sneezing is unprofessional.
That's hilarious, David. I'm amazed that you caught it. Well, at least you didn't catch the sneeze. David Kessler, dear friend of mine for many years. David and I have done several projects together and have gone several places together. We did a sketch comedy show together with the late Ann Beats, who was one of the writers for Saturday Night Live for the first 5 years. And she also helped create, or write, I should say, for National Lampoon's magazine that predated the Radio Hour, their albums, and their movies. David and I did a sketch comedy show in Los Angeles together. And then we went on to write material for me to audition for Saturday Night Live in New York City at Stand Up New York, which I performed there with Ann as well in our corner. 3 of us put it together. And after the audition, they selected me among a few other people to test on camera at Studio 8H for Saturday Night Live. That was an incredible experience that David and I were able to share. Flying from LA to New York, think about that. David from Philadelphia, I from Cleveland, us meeting in Los Angeles. Flying out from the West Coast to the East Coast, incredible. We also met up actually first through a gentleman named Wally Wingert, who's a voice actor you may know, at a show that he had put together. And David had an idea for a Beatles parody film, and I had a similar idea. He saw me, my hair was much shorter at the time, and he said to Wally, "Who's that Paul McCartney looking guy?" He said, "Well, that's Quinton Flynn." He said, I'd love to meet him. I've got an idea that I think he'd be right for. And we met, we hit it off like that, and we ended up doing this wonderful project called A Hard Day's Day, a day in the life of a Beatles tribute band. And David's been a wonderful friend for years. Now, as I get back to Cecilia, I want to let you know David is also an accomplished writer of various levels. But to date, his latest movie called Minimata with Johnny Depp came out, and you can see it. And if you want to know what platforms, you can look them up. Or David can also tell you in the chat. Yeah, pretty amazing, right?
Still like to see them.
Oh, well, absolutely. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Cecilia. You're breaking my heart. You're shaking my confidence, baby. Or lately, Cecilia, down on my knees, begging you please to come home. Come on home. La 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 la. La 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 la.
So you're Paul McCartney and Wally Wingert is Elvis Presley.
Ah, yes, I am Paul McCartney, and Wally Wingert is Elvis Presley. That's true. Elvis Presley, man, how you doing? This one goes out to Cecilia. Look at that there. Oh, yeah. I got it on the top there, and the bottom or the other side. There you go, Cecilia. Happy 30th birthday. Just for you folks who are joining, Cecilia, who's in the house, who's probably told you where she's coming in from, just turned 30 today. It's her 30th birthday. Remember that, Dave? I don't. Ooh. Toothache. This one goes out to Jesus Jaimes. And I can write whatever I like. That's my favorite. Solamente. Let her rip. Let her rip, baby. Let her rip. Now it's time for Jack to let her rip. All right. There you go. Jesus Jaimes. Let her rip, baby. There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. Who are you asking, Faye? There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. Roger Craig Smith wished you a happy 18th birthday on Twitter last month. I bet he didn't do it with his voice, did he? Somebody just turned 23 3 weeks ago. That's Comic Fenty. All right, happy birthday to you. Yeah. The one with the 30th, something you're scared. There's nothing to be scared about, nothing to be frightened at all. David, I hope you'll keep this on in the background, and if you've left already, shame on you. Let's see. This one goes out to Angel or Angel. Right there. And what does Angel want? Find something to believe in and find it for yourself. When you do, pass it on to the future. All right. If that's what you want, that's what you're going to get. Find something to believe in. Who was that? Was that Poison or was that Warrant?
I think it's Poison.
Something to believe in out there. I want you people to figure out what song or who did that song. I think it was Poison. Give me something to believe in. Wow, that's a lot to write, but I'm going to make it happen. Just for you, Angel. Where can I put that? Where can I put that? All right. Something to believe in. I'm going silent for a moment here, folks, because I need to focus on this one. This is there's a lot to write. You know what? I need another one of these. Let me another one of these because it's so. Thank you. It's going to take up a lot of space. Space is the place. Underneath, you can write something you like. Oh, this one looks a little thick. That one's a little better. Do you have any newer silvers? You know, maybe there's some in here. Yeah, there's some right here. Here's one right here.
It's my art drawer.
Oh, this is your art one?
No, my art drawer. So.
Okay. Let me see this. Oh, that's not even silver. That's why it's in your art drawer.
What do you mean it's not silver? What's silver?
No, well, no. It's gray. It's actually gray.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder if these are good or if why them are bad.
I don't know, but you can try them on this print here. Or I can try them. That looks new.
Mm-hmm.
Well, new-ish. I don't know, we'll see. Dave, you happen to come during a slow time of the hour, but that's all right. Isn't it nice just to look at these folks and chat amongst yourselves? Welcome back. Thank you. It's good to be back. Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back. Wait, why do I have this? I need another angel. Sorry. Another print. So the same old, we just got a whole bunch of them, so you can always get more. Angel. What's with these dry pens? God damn it, these need to be tested.
Test them on the paper if we
I know, but it's not, it's Thank you. And something to believe in. And find it for yourself. For yourself. For yourself, yourself, yourself. When you do, pass it on to someone else.
Do you want to, because I know people will be buying prints throughout the stream, so do you want to do some now and then do the rest after, Jamie?
Yes,
Okay.
that sounds good. Hey, Jamie, I'm sure you're out there. We're going to have you come on now. And, well, we have some folks here because I need a break on the signing. And we'd love to have you so we can chat with the folks who are chatting amongst themselves. And that way it'll give people an opportunity to take a moment also to make purchases if they like. As I'm finishing the angel or angel underneath, find something to believe in and find it for yourself. When you do, pass it on to the future. That means you will execute it and pass it on to the future, right? So here we go. Finding something to believe in. Find something to believe in and find it for yourself. When you do, please pass it on to the future. El futuro. And my goodness. Okay, this one is, where's the top? This is garbage, so I'm going to throw it all the way over there. Let's try this. Much better. All right. Here we go. Here we go. And I need another one of these. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna put that on hold for now. Let me see if I can go to... Were there any unused voice lines of Raiden that didn't make it into Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance? I would say yes. I don't have any, but what is my dream role to play? I don't know if it's been created yet. It's a good question. Armored Core 4. Do I remember the voice of Sir Morescu? No, I don't. But I'd like to hear it, and if I heard it, then I would remember it. You didn't even know this feature existed? It does. Those are for questions. And I'm going to look and see if Jamie... oh, there you go. Oh, goodness. It says rock and roll. That means you're here. So I will ask you... And ladies and gentlemen, we are very fortunate soon here as I'm going to invite... Wait, how can I can't... I want to invite Jamie. God damn it. Sorry, folks, for my cursing. Let's go for this again. There we go. I'm going to invite Jamie. Come in, and Jamie, you'll get an invite, and I think you can just kind of push on that. There he is.
Yo.
How you doing, buddy?
Great. Yeah, it's been funny watching you sign and sing, and I was looking at your old credits. You sang on like one of the earlier Metal Gear games?
Not to my knowledge, but
that's so funny. It has you credited on IMDb as singing a song.
Wow. Well, I don't know. Anything's possible. I certainly would, I'm glad I have the credits. I would love the money.
Anyway, thanks for having me, man.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
So
to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamie Christopherson, and he is a composer, and he composed the music for Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and was so kind to contact me recently when he saw that we were going to be doing the streaming and asked if would like to have him to chat. And absolutely. So he's here. And I mean, this to me is amazing. We've never met, and you'll never see my hands leave my body during this interview. So if you have questions for Jamie, put them down there in the chat. And Samantha, I'm going to ask you to watch the chat and see what.
I got the chat up here too. If anyone wants to, I have it on my laptop here so I can easily answer.
Cool.
But
do you want to tell? Do you have any thoughts? Anything you want to tell?
Well, I was just going to say, I can't believe it's been 10 years, and who would have, I don't know if you would have thought that it would have like just blown out of proportion, like getting more and more popular almost every year, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. No,
and how do you attribute that? Like, how do you think about that?
For my money, it's the music and the acting. I think there are two vital components: Jamie Christopherson and Quinton Flynn.
Yeah, forget the graphics, forget the great story.
Yeah. Oh, there's that too. I forgot about that. But yes, no, I don't know. I actually, I think you just said it. I think it's all of that. I know that when we did it and it came out, I thought, wow, I've never seen anything like it. And I know that when I was acting in it and reading everything and taking in the scenes and the moments, I thought, there's so many layers to this. And the fact that they added humor as well.
Yeah.
To the dynamic range of the story. It gave you so many hills and valleys. I just, again, like a picture and a great song, it's all there.
Yeah.
As you said, visually stunning. So you look at it today, and to me, it looks like it just came out yesterday.
Yeah, and the gameplay, I mean, just still holds up, and the fact that it's just so high quality on Steam Network and everything like that. Yeah, it's just one of those lucky games that we were a part of that has kind of crossed the threshold into, something a little more, which is awesome.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, like, what are your thoughts on that same question you asked me, which I thought was an excellent question?
I think I would answer it exactly how you would. I mean, and also we can't forget the memes, right? Which the game kind of prophesizes that, and now all of a sudden it kind of happens in that way, which is kind of crazy.
No, you're right. And I wonder about that. I mean, was that all Hideo? Was it part of it? Was it done in the translation? Was it a combination? Who came up with all of that? Honestly, I don't have. I
don't have the answer either for that.
Yeah, but I love the memes. I love just what has happened organically. Samantha posted one the other day where I think it was on Twitter. There was a skateboarder rolling, and he hit something, and then went flying on his stomach, but it was then Raiden.
Right.
And I thought it was brilliant. Also because as a kid, I was a skateboarder, and I said, I have felt that, although with a little gravel.
Yeah. Well, it's cool because you were riding from the very beginning, right? From yeah. So I had played Metal Gear Rising or Metal Gear Solid 2. That was a huge one, and I definitely had a huge impact on me. So then when I got the opportunity to work on Rising, it was just so cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is something I mentioned before you joined us, to the folks out there. I thought, I knew that you, based on your photo alone, as a composer, I saw you there with the piano. I said, that's obvious. This man reads music, he writes music, he's a composer, he scores, he can direct. I have two questions to you. One is when it came time, well, I have several questions. How did you write? Did you write 2 scenes by yourself, and then take it into the studio, and then consider and hire musicians for each moment or section? Or did you write and compose first, and then that came later through a combination of your decisions and those producers? Yeah.
Well, Platinum Games was pretty direct from the very beginning. After I did the initial trailer, they wanted some metal stuff, and then we saw that it worked. And then after that, they were pretty specific about wanting the boss levels to to be vocal songs and to stand apart from the underscore, right? So, yeah. So that was an approach from early on. We knew that we wanted a song for each boss, and the bosses needed to have like their own personas through the music, because they're, it's a pretty short game, and the bosses only appear, some of them just one time. So
Yeah.
just needed those to stand out. Yeah. So, and then I brought in a whole team. I mean, it's definitely a huge collaboration project. So it was me and 20 other guys, co-writers, and tons of musicians and singers. And it was a huge collaboration,
Absolutely.
So.
Now, so you were talking about this, I imagine, the session players you brought in, and singers, did you know everyone you were bringing in, or did you have to audition some folks?
We auditioned a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some were internally recommended by people at Platinum. They were fans of certain singers and things like that. So some people I brought in, and some people they recommended, and then we had auditions, and a lot of the demo versions of our songs like got leaked at some points, not by us, but
Right.
somehow. So those are floating around the internet. So it's interesting to see. Those were never meant to be like the finals. They were just works in progress,
Yep.
just like sketches. But people still like them, which is
Oh,
fun.
are awesome. I mean, I'm that way about music. If I love something and then I get to hear the demos, it's like, yeah, give me that.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of I'll scroll up and try and grab some of these questions if you want me to.
Do that. In fact, when you do that, I'm going to take a moment to finish this autograph for Angel. That's one of the longest I've written in history.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
James, I'm actually going to scroll back, and you heard what he said. He's going to look up some of your questions right now and take to them. So enjoy.
Yeah. Outside Heaven asked Jamie about the soundtrack. I've read that It Has to Be This Way was somehow inspired by Peace Walker within main theme. That is not true. I don't remember that being an influence.
That's a damn lot.
Yeah. But other than maybe there's like a fragment of thematic or whatever, but we did try and not use the Metal Gear Solid music theme. So very specifically, we wanted to stay away from that. However, it's in the same universe, so we wanted to still hint at being in the universe, but something different. Let's see. What is your favorite song? A lot of people ask that. I mean, it's like picking your favorite baby, right? Because they're all like cool and fun for me. But I would say like the first real full song that I did was Rules of Nature. So that has a special place for me. And then The War Still Rages Within, just because it was the end of the piece. So a very different kind of musical style. And I always love end theme music and stuff like that for movies and games. So that was a lot of fun. And then also It Has to Be This Way. Yeah, that's just a huge, I love combining the orchestra with metal and stuff like that. So let me keep going down.
Folks, what he's saying is it had to be that way.
Yeah.
It just had to.
Yeah, so let's see. I'm just scrolling down around a little bit more. Turn off what was your T? Sorry, guys. I'm not seeing any. Just keep writing questions, and I'll try and catch them as I can here. But yes, some of you have pointed out that I started off early in my career with Toontown, Disney Toontown, and you mentioned Quinton. Maybe I did some other town music, but
Fun town.
some kind. But yeah, it was just like very generic MIDI stuff. But it's still around. People are still liking it anyway. But yes, I did work on that as part of a team of people. I also did Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean online, so I did a bunch of music for that.
Love the Pirates music. I always have.
Let's see.
Samantha's a big fan fan of what you did with that music.
Which music?
Pirates of the Caribbean online.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
And
was...
check that and make sure I did it right, hon. Toontown, I remember when that came out. And I know I did some work on Pirates of the Caribbean, but I don't, maybe it was a game, so it wouldn't have been the online series that you're talking about.
Or asking what song was Raiden's theme or Raiden's theme. So that is a tricky one. He does a musical theme. That is the theme of the game that I equate with. It's the da da dum da da dum da da dum. So that musical theme is definitely Raiden's, and it's interweaved throughout the score and some of the songs, like "It Has to Be This Way." So that musical theme. Now, the very end, some people have pointed out the very end songs, the Cortex, and "It Has to Be This Way" is an amalgamation of Raiden's theme and Senator's theme, and just the theme of the game in general. So he's intertwined in there for sure. What was my influence on the music and Metal Gear Rising? That was a tricky one as well. I listened to a lot of metal before composing, and growing up to Metallica and all that kind of stuff. But we wanted it to be different and be a hodgepodge of a lot of different styles. So it's hard to say. We wanted something original and unique, and thankfully, I think we did get there.
I have a question for you about that.
Yeah.
What anybody in your team or camp who said, "Hey, why don't you listen to, such and such?" Because you just mentioned Metallica. I was curious if anyone made any suggestions of an artist in the metal genre that you listen to, and I'm like, yeah, or
I could think of a few references, like for example the Sundowner character. His sound was a lot heftier, and so there's a heavy metal band called Rammstein. He's very popular, and they've got a really meaty, low end, kind of really dark and heavy sound. And so we wanted that music to be like that. Originally, the lead vocal line was going to be an octave up in the verses, and when we got into the studio, we're like, no, this feels a lot heavier. Let's ask Jason Miller to try it like an octave lower, and he did, and it just fit perfectly. So that's one of those things where it just happened in the studio.
Yeah, Rammstein, of course, very big in Germany.
Are you?
I mentioned my. What have you want me to be? What advocates? No, my mother's side of the family is from Luxembourg, so yeah, more Germanic than French. The Hummers, but yeah, I understand the Germans, and I Rammstein. Yes, I listen to Eckhart Tolle. Mm-hmm. If he is, and Eckhart Tolle speaks very quietly. But I think it would be amazing if this quiet guy, so sensitive and peaceful, who just knows how to be here now. If you ask him, "What's your favorite, artist?" Rammstein, of course,
because they're so present. It's so honest.
Exactly. They're very hard but soft. Huh?
Yeah. See if there's any other questions. Yeah. And you just stop me when you're ready to get back to your signing.
Oh, no. I'm going to do that in between. In fact, Angel, this took me, I think I blew through about 4 prints. I failed. But now, look at that. Angel, there's your signing. And my goodness, look at that sombrero filled, I don't know what else to say, delight of ink. And yeah, it's a beauty. She's a beauty.
Oh, and nice. The artist actually who did this, her name is Susanna on Twitter. She's great.
Oh, and the artist who did that is Susanna.
Wow.
She's on Twitter.
Susanna draws, yes.
Susanna what?
Draws.
Draws.
Yep.
She does draw. Yeah, Susanna draws on Twitter if you want to go follow her. And right now I'm going to give it back to Jamie, who's got a question to answer.
Yeah, let's see. Same goes with... there's a few questions in here for you, too. Let's see.
Don't worry about that. Unless that's with you. But, throw them at me, and I'll just bust them out. Oh, wow. Sean Cokes. All right, I'm signing something for you. Don't make it a habit, Sean.
Some people, Sora asked, what was the trickiest song to write? That's a good question. It was probably, yeah, some of the bigger last songs, like It Has to Be This Way, just because we knew that we'd already gone to like level 10. And once we hit level 10, like, where do you go from there to make it even bigger and better? So
11.
To 11. We go to 11. Yeah, so we had to push it to 11, that song, and luckily it turned out well. And it does go through a lot of modulations, which I think helps with the cinematic kind of quality of that. There's a band called Faith No More, and they had a song called Epic that was a big influence on me, and they had this huge orchestra towards the end, and so I kind of had that in my mind. You could mix, not that we had the rap in there, but we considered that at one point. But yeah, you got the metal mixed with the orchestra, and I love that kind of cinematic style. And someone's asking, on the production, did you work with someone from production game design to write the songs? So they didn't tell me this. They didn't really have input on writing the songs, but they did have input. Platinum and Kojima too had input on the lyrics. So they had specific things that they wanted to mention about some of the bosses, and then I would write lyrics and get them approved from everyone up the chain to Konami and Kojima. He had to sign off on everything. So for the lyrics, definitely very involved.
Now, do you speak Japanese, Jamie?
I don't. And I still haven't been, but I really want to go.
You haven't been to
Right.
Japan? Okay.
But
It's still there.
it's on my list because I have been fortunate to work on a lot of Japanese and also Korean video games and like that.
Now, yeah, I've been to Japan, as I may have mentioned earlier, Okinawa and Iwakuni. So I was on the islands, but I did not make it to Tokyo. I think I'm trying to think of possibly a connecting flight.
Got it.
But I did not make it into Tokyo. And the people of the islands were incredible. They were just lovely. And I was very fortunate to meet up with some folks who were bilingual and
Nice.
or multilingual, and they were incredible. We got to meet folks on two American. I'm trying to think of this. Naval bases and Marine bases, and that's where they had these conventions in 2019.
Cool.
And there were some things to see, and again, and the Japanese people very calm, very quiet, very staid. But you know, when they got excited, they were excited, and of course, I'd say the generalization is true for those who like to have a drink, have a couple drinks, then they really lighten up.
Okay. Nice.
Now, real quick, I'm just going to show Sean Cokes. Sean, there you go. That's you. Well, it's not. It's me. Well, it's kind of me. It's Raiden, and it's you. And this one I did in black and blue, because I think you're probably going to end up that way once in a while. I know I do. So there you go. And let's see. We have another one coming in. Oh, is that next? Okay. Yeah, I've got, looks like an Axel to sign. That's interesting. I'm trying to think what I wanted to ask you, Jamie. I know I had some other questions.
There's a question on here that's interesting I've never heard before. Let's see. Was the Staff Roll song ever officially released somewhere? That song that plays during the credits after The War Still Rages Within. Honestly, I don't know what this song is. I would have to watch a video. Maybe if someone can just post a link to YouTube, or something to watch the end scroll, and I could try and give it a quick listen and see what that song is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've finally started getting a little more active on my YouTube. So there's a few like just things on my channel that people might want to just check out, but it's easy to find me. So
Is your YouTube channel under your name?
it's just my name, Jamie.Christofferson. Yeah.
Excellent.
Should be able to find it.
And folks, that's Jamie, like you would think, Jamie, dot. That's the dot. It's not the word. And Christofferson, not K, but CH, like Christopher. Christofferson. Jamie.Christofferson. CHRISTOPHERSON.
Thank you for the. Yeah.
And anybody who's just tuning in, you wonder what's going on here. I have guest Jamie Christofferson, who is a wonderful composer and did all of the music for the Metal Gear Rising Revengeance game that is now 10 years old. We're celebrating that tonight together. And he's here. If you have any questions, by all means, lay him on, because he can answer them.
I can at least try and answer them. That was 10 years ago. But.
Well, the good news, you did the work. They didn't. So
yeah,
whatever you say goes.
Whatever I say goes, yeah. I could make something up. Let's see.
Yeah.
Would you come back to make the soundtrack of a sequel? Yeah, I've been asked that before. If it was greenlit by Konami, I mean, I'm definitely game for getting in that universe again, for sure. Just want to make sure that we would be able to top where we were, like really bring it to the next level. So
that's an excellent point. That honestly is not something I thought of. I've always answered it, of course I'll come back. But now, come to think of it, no disrespect to anyone, but what if someone goes here and you look at it and go, that's not appetizing?
Yeah. If it's going to be inferior, then I always want to like make myself better and challenge myself. Yeah. So, like, okay, yeah, let's bring in like Metallica and like let's do just do something massive. Like
I would love that too.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Metallica, I mentioned this earlier. I don't think I mentioned it when you were on with me, but I was in New York City doing a Comic-Con was it? I forget the name of it. It doesn't matter, but the folks are more interested in that and can remember them better than I can. But it might have been called New York City Con. It wasn't the big one. It was a different one. Anyway, the short of the long is I was doing a panel, and some folks, someone happened to mention rules of nature, and this they were throwing out at me. This might have been 2016, 2017. And I don't know why, but I just went into it as James Hetfield.
Oh.
And I started singing Rules of Nature.
Nice.
And improvising as I went, and I said, that's the way it is, don't you know? It's kind of a cross between Hetfield and maybe Jack Black, but it's just, heavy. And until you said, wow, Metallica was an influence, I went, wow, there was something in the air that I caught wind in that moment.
Yeah, totally. I think just the phrase rules of nature, like it just begs to get that screaming, and it's like
absolutely. Now, where did you record? Did you record everything in one particular studio?
No, we recorded it in a few, but my co-writer is a metal producer. His name was Logan Mader, and so he produced a lot of these songs with me, co-produced, and he had a studio up in the Hollywood Hills, and so we did a lot of stuff there. We did some stuff in El Segundo, where I had a studio at the time, and but all in LA.
Okay.
Although one of the singers is his name's Graham Cornies. He's a Canadian guy, and he's got his own amazing singer and composer in his own right. And he's got a nice studio in Canada. So he's the only guy that flew everything into me. The vocals, like, produced them on his own. Every other singer we did in LA. Okay,
now with Graham, did he record them? Well, I guess 10 years ago, maybe. Did he record them with your direction in real time, or something that he did on his own, sent to you for notes?
I think we did a little bit of each.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had been working together on some other stuff, so so yeah, we did a little bit of each, but some back and forth. There was a lot of back and forth in this game. The music on it, this boss songs honestly went through a lot of iterations, a lot of changes, and so it was a long process. It's not like just something.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you? And I'm sure this question might be obvious to some, but I'm going to ask it anyway because it might not be. Which did you find more difficult or challenging, to go through that process with Graham, who wasn't there, or having the artists, recording artists, vocalists in the studio in front of you? Which was easier or more challenging?
I mean, they both. Yeah, that's not like an easy answer. It's Graham is a professional, so like he got it. So it would be harder with someone that was not used to doing that, you know.
Sure.
So that was a pretty easy process. And then getting the singers, we really pushed the singers hard in the studio, like to get to these. Some of the singers weren't really used to singing this hardcore, you know. So we pushed their vocal cords, so we had to take time, take breaks, and make sure that they were happy and all that kind of stuff. So to get these performances, I kind of am one of those producers that I like to take people to, you know, different places than maybe they're comfortable. So that's fun.
That's amazing, and it makes sense, of course. Well, I mean, maybe there are more of them now, but for session singers, I can't imagine there are those, you know, who just come, you know, equipped with those kind of tears in terms of vocal performances.
Right.
And yet there are those who of course I've seen on TikTok who that's what they focus on just specifically,
yeah.
But not heard any of them sing separately. So to find that crossover or hybrid, boy, that's something.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
And I do like, forgive the interruption.
Oh, that's fine.
I like about working with another artist like James Hetfield, or, you know, maybe the gentleman from Rammstein or someone else of that nature, who you could pull in when you know specifically, this is what I want for this part, and I don't want him to, you know, be singing anything soft and romantic.
Yeah. Exactly. But how cool would that be to do like a, I don't know, remake of even these songs with some of these new guys, you know? But I just feel like the original songs, like they turned out so well that even to do these covers with the bigger guys might not be able to reach even the level that we did, you know? It's just like you can't capture magic in a bottle twice, right? As they say, like it just kind of happened. It was really hard to get there, but we got there, and it's just a magic time period. You know?
Well, I know for me too, people ask about performances and, you know, and whether gaming or animation, whatever genre I've worked in as a voice actor or singer, whatever, what's been the most challenging or rewarding for me. And I've always said, and this is honest, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance was the most intense acting I'd ever done. And I was doing 8-hour days with just an hour break for dinner, and then a few, you know, 5-minuters in between to use the restroom and maybe get some water or what have you. And what I was going through in those hours, maybe 3 or 4 sessions a week with other actors who would come in, it was, you know, kind of what was twisty-turny, and it was very similar to what you said in terms of being pushed, because there is Jack the Ripper, as some would say, and then there's Jack. So there's Raiden, you know. Yeah. And me moving in between these two worlds, and the director, Chris Zimmerman Salter, would say, okay, Raiden, or she'd say Jack, Raiden, Jack the Ripper, Ripper, Raiden, Ripper, Raiden, Ripper, you know. And of course, we never got anything linear, and this is what I explained to the folks. The story is given to us in a non-linear fashion, so we have to get into it where it is, do it at the time for whatever number of pages we're doing, and once once we've wrapped on that, and we go to what's next, not necessarily what's next in real life or story time.
Did were you on mocap as well with that one, or not?
That's a good question. I think they might have. It's hard for me to remember just because of a lot of sessions in between. They may have had a camera running to capture my face, but they didn't have anything on me.
Right.
So not specifically mocap.
Yeah.
And I do remember not working to picture. I might have worked to time a little bit, and it was mostly just live in studio, organic acting, and yeah, it was cool. It was really great to work with these other actors because everyone had everyone brought something different to it.
Nice.
I particularly I always enjoy working with Phil Lamar, and because we do impressions, we're impressionists, so in between we do some cutting up, and that's nice.
Nice.
But the gentleman who played the senator was, he was great and a really great guy. That's the interesting thing. He's a great guy, separate from his character, who was just a monster. And I remember even in the moment looking at his lines and listening to what he had to say and the fight that we had, thinking, I don't want this guy to get the best of me. It's like, it's all right, Quinton. You're going to go home tonight. You're going to be okay. But it was great. It was that kind of acting where it transcends, we were able to suspend disbelief, not only for the audience, but for ourselves.
Yeah. That character, the senator, especially, I think is one of the reasons why it's still popular today. Like, just some of his absurdist lines, and how, not to get too into politics, but how it's relating to more now maybe than it did 10 years ago. Just, internet politics and all, just weird stuff. I mean, it's absurdism.
It is. It's amazing. And many people that ask me, how did he know? Was what was written, did that get into Western politics? Which came first? And I said, you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know. There must have been something in the air. And it is amazing how it came to fruition, because I remember at the time, you're right, it seemed absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
Do you have any more questions in there? I'm curious.
In this little chat room here, I'm not seeing a whole lot, but there's a few for you, I think. Let's see.
Ask how you both got on to work on the Metal Gear universe.
Okay, well, I'll ask Jamie first. How did you first get hired to become a part of the Metal Gear universe?
I was just like a lot of things, in the right place at the right time.
Excellent answer. Okay, we're moving on. Please go.
No, I mean, it's not a huge story. It's just I had done a bunch of Japanese games and Korean games. I had worked with Capcom a bunch, and those games became popular, and I think that got me to a certain recognition level. And so the company that I was a part of at the time that's gone out of business is called Sound Deluxe.
Oh yeah.
But they've gone out of business ways since then. But just a trailer came in, just a trailer, and they just asked if I would do the trailer, and asked if I knew how to do heavy metal, and of course you just say yes for everything. But I had grown up listening to heavy metal, and hard rock, so it wasn't a huge stretch of the imagination. But I'd never actually done one for a game, really, like heavy metal. So that trailer proved that I could do it, and they liked what I did, and then they just asked me to continue on.
There you go, folks. And before I answer, because you made me think of something. Besides Metallica, who are some of your influences or favorite metal artists or hard rock artists?
Oh, geez. I don't know. You answer your question
Okay,
first.
fair enough. I'll let you think on that.
Well,
I got into the universe the same way I have done with any roles, and that's I audition. You know, Metal Gear Solid 2 was the game that they were auditioning at the time. When I get copy to audition for a particular role, they usually have the character. They show me a picture. They tell me about the character in terms of age, background, and maybe a little bit of what they want. And I kind of assess it and audition what I think is right for the character. I seem to remember at this time I auditioned for Chris Zimmerman Salter at I can't remember the name of the studio. It'll come to me later. But specifically I auditioned for Raiden, and I was in the booth auditioning for her live and in person. That doesn't happen all the time. And she and I had worked on a series together called The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest back in 1996. So she said to me, Raiden, he's young, but he's not as young as Johnny. He's a bit older, but he's not old. So Johnny, if Johnny Quest is in here, come on, Dad, we got to go find Bandit. Then Raiden, if he's not a teen, he maybe late teens, early 20s, he might be somewhere in here. So Raiden, as the rookie, as I recall, was somewhere around here. And then, of course, over time, he was aged up. I'll add to that by saying for Metal Gear Metal Gear Solid 4, so weird, this business. They had me audition at some outside place for this project, unnamed, in a big sound studio on the lot, the old A&M lot, which was first Charlie Chaplin Studios, then it was A&M, which was a record label, and then Henson took it over. Wonderful studios if you've never been. And so I walked into a small green room to prepare these sides for this general idea of a character. And they brought me into this huge sound stage. It was ridiculous. I mean, obviously, Jamie, you know what I'm talking about. If you have a sound stage for, shooting scenes, wonderful. If you're going to have an orchestra, a massive orchestra in a studio, fair enough. But if you bring one guy in, to audition in for people, maybe there were a dozen people there. And I think the reason they did it is because they had two banks of folks on tables on either side. And one was a series of folks from Japan and the other from America. Then in between, there was a camera looking at you. Yeah, and then that would be me. And the director said, okay, take your sides, right? And go. And it's so surreal because you feel naked. So the thought is, am I doing a theatrical performance, a staged performance, an intimate performance? Fuck it, I'm just doing whatever I'm doing. And I did it. And then this director, who I don't even know who he is to this day, redirected me. And I thought, I'm not quite getting. And I said to him, I'm not quite getting what you're asking me to do. And we went back and forth. And they finished. And once they had what they wanted, they said, okay, thanks. Which that's what everybody says, as you know. And the most bizarre part was the break in between when the Japanese folks were on their computers talking to someone in Japan, and I couldn't understand them. And the Americans did the old, they could have been talking about lunch. So I got out of there, and I got onto the road, and my agent called me, and she said, hey, you know what you just auditioned for? And I said, what? Oh, Metal Gear Solid 4. I said, why didn't they tell me? I would have done a different audition. I mean, it was so vague. And my agent said, don't worry, Quinton. We'll get it done right. So I went to re-audition for the role of Raiden back in the studio with Chris Zimmerman Salter once again. And of course, it was not a problem. What they wanted to know, and they should have just asked the director and brought me in right away, was can Quinton age his voice up and can he do grit? But no, they thought, well, he can't because we've never heard him do it. Rookie Raiden sounds like this, so there's no way he can do it. So we're going to audition a bunch of other people. Ridiculous. So I will say that is the most absurd thing that ever happened to me in this universe. And once they got that I could do Raiden here, or Raiden here, or Raiden here, now it's time for Jack to let her rip. Shut up, Senator, I hate you. Oh my God, how did he do that? It's called acting.
You're a professional.
Exactly.
It's like,
and I did what you were talking about earlier. You push your instrument as far as it can go without hurting. But you push to new levels. And so yeah, I got in.
That's awesome.
The same way, a similar way that Jamie did, which is you're asked to audition or you're asked if you can do, and of course, unless you can't. That's it. No, so back to you. Do you have any, and there's no right answer, if you have any favorite metal artists or maybe heavy hard rock artists?
I mean, so I listened to a lot of grunge growing up, Nirvana and all that kind of stuff. So as far as like the heavy metal stuff, I didn't listen to a ton other than the mainstream stuff, like, Metallica, like I said. I wasn't into it kind of does relate a little bit to the soundtrack too. So I'm a big melody fan.
Yeah.
So like when we were going through different styles that we could do as metal, like I shied away from the black metal and all the stuff where it's just, just that guttural, maybe for a future game that'll work. But I figured right away, like we were going to need some more melodic metal kind of stuff. So I listened to a lot of that in the research phase. So I'm like I said, I'm a big fan of melody. I do like Foo Fighters and people like that.
Sure.
So just because I love their melody and the hard rock part of it. I definitely grew up with like classic rock and rock tendencies for sure.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up here in LA.
Oh, cool. So you probably listen to a lot of KLOS.
Yes, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad, he was a rock and roll bass player. So him and his bands moved out here to Sunset Strip to try and make it as a rock band in the 70s.
Oh, cool.
And so, yeah.
Did he continue with music?
He still plays, but not as a profession.
And did he ever play in any particular project of note?
He was always like just in the wrong band at the wrong time. Like,
Sure.
So a lot of his friends went on to be bigger, like singers with bigger bands, but he chose the wrong band to join.
That happens.
Just pure coincidence.
Sure.
So,
now, where did your dad and his band move from? What city of origin?
Midwest. They're from the Midwest, yeah.
What?
Like South Dakota area and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Which unfortunately I've never been. I've been to a lot of cities and states across the U.S. Have to get there. I grew up in Northeast Ohio, outside of Cleveland.
Oh, nice.
And so grew up with born and bred on rock and roll.
Yeah, that's a big rock town for sure.
And I love, I know the history. I mean, the first rock and roll show was actually in Cleveland, Ohio, in 1952.
Oh wow.
Elvis Presley's first rock show, not first performance, was in Cleveland. DJ Alan Freed coined the phrase rock and roll. And after he became popular in Cleveland and would host these shows called the Moondog, the first one was called the Moondog Coronation Ball. And once, the music then started percolating and popping into the general consciousness and excitement of the commercial buying public, he then was invited by New York City to become a DJ there.
Nice.
Once someone's doing what you want them to do, you want them to do it for you. And so that's what went on with Alan. Unfortunately, he would not go on to have a happy ending, which happens in our industry because it's one that's up and down.
Yeah.
Just as you said with your father, didn't quite find the right collection of guys to play with, but he still plays.
Yeah.
And I get it, because LA from the 60s for sure into the 90s was the place where a lot of artists were getting picked up until grunge. Because I moved out there in '88 myself, and I remember it happening, the Sunset Strip. And I played in several bands and played all the venues there. The Whiskey, the Troubadour,
Sure.
the Rock, you name it, clubs that aren't around anymore, like Moguls, Hollywood Moguls, or any number that I can't recall now. But those growing up for me, reading Rolling Stone magazine about any bands who had played them, like the Doors and the Byrds and Zeppelin, I thought, these places are magical there. I can't even imagine. But then once I got to LA and then I was playing the club scene and in them and seeing what it was all about, it was amazing to find the difference between fantasy and reality. And when they met, what it was like in terms of, I guess, perception and experience.
Yeah.
A different thing. Like, as we're explaining to the folks out there, they're having trouble imagining, well, how did you get into the universe? And I know when they say universe, at least in my mind, it's not tangible.
Yeah. You mean like the Metal Gear universe, or
Yes.
the kind of game universe? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is true. Yeah, kind of crazy because you're the. Are you the only person that crossed over the universe? Like basically from the Solid to Rising. Are you the only actor?
Well,
Or the only, besides Kojima himself, probably, the only team member.
it could be. I mean,
Yeah.
I do know. Well, Phil Lamar was in Metal Gear Solid 4 as Vamp, and he then played my sidekick Kevin.
Okay.
Right. He was, codec calls. He was a tech guy. But in terms of the main player, yes. I would actually have to look at the cast to see.
Yeah.
But I just remember working with so many new people that I didn't know. Rising Revenge, and at the time, I can tell you this, and you may know this, they were planning a sequel. So we were recording this in 2011, even though it came out in 2012. And they were telling me that they believed we would be recording a sequel for 2014 at that time.
Oh, okay.
And that was before Konami and Kojima had the split.
Yeah.
And we had done some behind-the-scenes interviews, which had not been released to this day. I remember being interviewed in a conference room. And that might have been Sound Deluxe then in Hollywood, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Because someone asked me before, and I said, I believe it was Sound Deluxe, because we were in Hollywood all the time. And then, I don't know if I did a project there afterwards. I might have. But yeah, then they disappeared, and it was a shame because it was a great facility.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, you mentioned Graham, who was a Canadian singer and an artist in his own right who sang for you. The rest of the folks that you had who sang, were they American artists?
Yes, they're all American artists. Yeah.
Now, what I find interesting is you can't tell the difference between a Canadian and an American by sight, and sound, unless they, drop the out and about to the oot and boot.
Yeah, but not in singing styles, probably. Yeah,
never, ever. Never.
The British, like most of the time, unless it's like stylized, like British rock, like they sound like American a lot of the time too when they're singing.
Absolutely.
Or acting.
And or or acting. You're right. Well, and many people have asked me about that. And they've said, why are they so good? And why doesn't it translate the other way? I said, very, very simply, Hollywood originated in America. All the motion pictures, American. Anyone in England who got to grow up on movies, they were watching American actors predominantly. So it was easy to have an ear for that. Whereas in America, we were not flooded with British film product or Canadian content. So
Right.
that's why, I can't understand, somebody comes from Australia or New Zealand, somebody like Hugh Jackman, how can he do it? Easily. That's what he was fed. Yeah. And,
Cool.
of course, Mel Tillis, he was a stutterer who was a country artist. And when he sang, like a bird.
Yeah. Wow.
But when he spoke, he couldn't, he couldn't do what we're doing right now, which is have a conversation without having moments like this.
Interesting. Very
Throw
interesting.
the glasses on here and see.
Yeah. See if there's any more questions for you. I'm going to get going shortly. But,
Absolutely. Aside from Rising, here we go. Somebody's actually answering, I think, the question. Aside from Raiden, the other solid characters that are also in Rising are Sonny from Metal Gear Solid 4 and the Japanese voice of Solid Snake, Akira Atsuka, as a spirit and a wooden sword DLC. So yeah, really, you're right. Yeah, just me. You're right, and maybe Sonny, who I don't think Sonny, the actress for Sonny, worked on 4 with me. We were not in the booth together. We only worked for the first time together in Rising. So yeah, I didn't know that. That was an excellent question that you both posed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lonely world.
You're the thread. Did you ever get to hang out meet Kojima, like after any of the games or anything like that, or interact with them?
I have if I met Kojima, and I don't know if this actually happened or if my brain put it together because I've seen him in interviews. But if I did meet him, it would have been momentarily one time when he was in America, Los Angeles, and had a translator. And I believe that may have happened, but only once. And I received a thank you letter from him with his signature. But he doesn't speak English, and I don't speak Japanese. So, at the time, I didn't know much because, we're going back some years.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 2 came out. Someone would have to tell me what year that was. I don't know. Someone asked, do you play or have you played Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Jamie?
I played it when it first came out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I beat it. I'm always, whenever I can, I'm interested, because when I was composing it, I only saw it in bits and pieces, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like being finished, and we were kind of doing it in tandem with that. So yeah, when it came out, I did buy it, or I didn't buy it. They sent me some copies.
Right.
It was great. I believe I played it on PS3 or something. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
But I did play through it, and this is another big thing, like with why the music is so popular, is because of how well it's implemented. So like the internal team at Platinum just did a phenomenal job of implementing the music. So in the boss fights, particularly, the vocals kick in at the very last level of the boss songs. So that it's a huge part of why it's popular, I think, because it just gives that feeling, with the sword and then the song and everything coming together. So
I guess I can ask a simple question. Did everything come together for you when you then saw it in its not only final stages, but also separate stages because gaming, again, being non-linear, did things just pop for you the way you wanted them to?
Yeah, it turned out very well.
Great.
Definitely one of the
Also,
best, one of the projects that I've been a part of that it's been implemented even better than I thought it would be.
that's great. So one of your top tier projects you've worked on.
Yeah, for sure.
And then another person had a question out there. What other soundtracks, if any, did you carry on to work on after the Metal Gear Rising? And would you like to talk about them?
I mean, I've done a lot of games since then. The most recent big one is Warhammer 3. I did a lot of music with Creative Assembly for Warhammer franchise for a number of years. But the biggest game that we did recently was Warhammer 3, and that had a lot of fan following. It seemed to do well. So, and then I have a few games coming out later this year as well. I can't announce them yet because they haven't been announced. But yeah, I am in the game world still.
There you go, folks. And you can follow Jamie at his, I believe you said your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Jamie.Christofferson.
Yeah. It'll just pull up the official artist page. And I was never good at YouTube. I'm still not good at YouTube, but I'm trying to get better.
Hey, we all are, man. I understand. You know, we didn't grow up with this stuff. Plus, we've been working.
Yeah, I'd prefer to just write music. And
let me ask you this. Sam's actually going to put your information in the chat. Have you released anything that people could find on a music platform?
yeah, like Spotify. Yeah, that's actually interesting. Yeah, I have a Spotify as myself because I do a lot of film work as well, and some other games. So you could just look up my name on Spotify and you'll come up with a lot of my fantasy video game music is on there. The Metal Gear Rising music is not under my name anymore. It's under the artists that sang the songs, which is interesting. I don't know if you know, but when the soundtrack first came out, it was on a label called Something Music, which was owned by Nile Rodgers. You know,
Sure.
Nile Rodgers? Yeah, the amazing record producer.
Yeah.
So he had a video game soundtrack label called Something, and they released the original soundtrack through that, and also produced vinyl records and things like that, which are still around.
Yeah.
You can get them on eBay and things like that. I don't think they're pressing them anymore. So
No.
Anyway, his business record company unfortunately went out of business. So then that's when all the tracks were taken down from Spotify and all streaming platforms for like a year or something like that, or 2 years. And that's about the time when I stopped tracking Metal Gear Rising. And I was like, okay, it's gone. It's like dead. And then it's 2 years later, Konami reposted everything under the artist names, because originally it was under my name as the composer. But then which makes sense. I mean, it's usually listed under the artist, right? But anyway, so they reposted it, and like 2 years later, like 2015 or 16, I think, and that's when it started amassing. Just so many streams. It's crazy.
Wow, that's amazing. That's incredible.
I think it's in the top 10 video games of all time, like streamed now.
Wow, that's exciting. Nice to be a part of that.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
It really is. All right, gang. Well, listen.
Yeah, I'm going to take off, but if you want to keep signing, thanks for having me, man. It's been fun.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I'm so glad you contacted us. It's been a good time. And yeah, I'm going to sit and keep signing and chatting, signing and singing and BSing. But we're grateful for your time. And I know that you are too. So thank you, buddy.
Thanks.
And
We'll talk soon, and good luck with everything.
You too.
All right.
That sounds good.
Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let me get, and I have to figure, of course, I always have to, and there we go. He's gone. Okay. I never know how to do that.
Without ending your entire
Yeah, I always have trouble ending it. I know there's a way to do it. So that was Jamie Christopherson, folks. What a guy. What a guy. What a nice guy. What a talented guy. And so it was what a gift to be able to honor the 10th anniversary of Metal Gear and having him here. So yeah, they say, Jamie, you're the best. Nice having you. Bye-bye, Jamie. Lots of nice comments for you, Jamie, there. And folks, I'm staying on because I'm going to keep signing here. That's what I must do. So check this out. This is Axel from the Kingdom Hearts series. Another very talented, another popular game. Boy, I'm tired. I've been sitting on here a long time. Haven't taken a break. I can understand why Jamie wanted to go. Can I say doctor really quick? Sure. Doctor. Someone had a question. Will I keep this up? Yeah, I will. I will put this up. You heard us talking about Metallica a lot. What is my favorite Metallica song? Well, I mean, probably Enter Sandman. That's just me. All right. See you, Leon. All right. Enter night, exit light. If you could do, oh gosh, yellow and red paint pen combo, I'd really appreciate it.
I didn't find any yellow. I only have the red.
Oh, okay. This is for your Siggy. Got it memorized. Oh, if you could do a yellow and red paint pen combo, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for bringing life to one of the best characters. I love Axel. I loved Axel when I was a kid, and I do now. I don't know who this is for.
I think that might be for her username is Viper Core.
I guess my question is, it doesn't say to have a name. Oh, here. Sorry, wait, on one side it says, oh, I see. So put got it memorized. Sorry, boss, no one acts as Axel. But I guess on two sides. We only got red. We didn't get yellow. Is that from her too? Or him? Or her?
No.
Okay, folks, look at this. Red. Now, this Viper Core asked for this to be signed in red and yellow, but unfortunately, there's only red. And we would need another one of those yellow paints, not just a yellow marker. And I'm pretty sure this is just a yellow. Yeah, this is yellow, but.
Yeah, I have yellow Sharpies, but they won't show up.
They won't show up. Yeah, we don't have a yellow paint marker. So Viper Core, this is going to come to you in red. Very sorry we didn't have the other one. Perhaps you meant to send it?
She didn't send that. That's just from us. That's from our collection.
Oh. You're fortunate that we have this. You sent this, but yeah, we don't have a collection of markers. Usually they have to be provided by the fan when it comes to anything special like that. But we do have this one, red, that we're going to be able to give you. So we don't have the yellow. So it's meant to be. All right, here we go. Got it memorized. My signature. Doesn't say that I should put Viper Core on it, so, or any name.
No.
Okay. Oh, that's weird. See, this is black and red. So that's all right. Got it memorized.
Bill Reblis in the chat.
Sorry?
Bill Reblis in the chat.
Bill Reblis in the chat. I'm so glad. Love you, Bill. Bill's a dear friend. Sorry, boss. No one acts as Axel. Sorry, boss. No one axes Axel. Now, I'm Axel. I'm saying that since Bill joined us, if you wondered. This is Lea, actually, but Lea is Axel, and Axel is Lea, but I can't get into that. This is Lea with the Keyblade. So I voice this character, Bill, but in an animated form or CGI form, if you will. This is one of the, isn't that cool? This is one of the little pops. And should I guess I'll put these stickers back on here, and that we can send it back that way with that included, right?
Yeah. And then that one also, this one's got it in mind.
Where?
On the front.
Same person?
No.
Oh, do they have a name they want to?
No.
Okay, this goes out to someone. Doesn't say who requested it.
Nope.
Okay, there's another one. Bill Revelis. It's William Andrew Revelis, folks, who just joined us here, and I want to take a moment to say that he is a wonderful recording artist, and you can look up his music. Digging the Hair? Thank you, pal. I appreciate it. I got that going on in the back. I had to put it up before I was doing an interview with a composer named Jamie Christopherson, who did the score, the soundtrack for Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which we're celebrating the 10th anniversary today, and I'm also doing signings for, this is fan provided items, but I also have prints that we're signing. So, and I wanted to let the folks know that William, who has joined us in the chat, is an incredible composer of singer-songwriter music. So tonight, it's a night for love, simply because you're near me. Funny, but when you're near me, I'm in the mood for love. Got it memorized. I've got it memorized. Got it memorized. And Sam's got her eye on everything. So, Bill, if you have any thoughts or questions while I'm writing, by all means. And if you want to come on for a bit, I'm happy to bring you on, Bill. You just let me know in the chat. Got it memorized, folks? There it is with the Quinton Flynn signature, which lets you know you can submit things to Streamily and they will get them to me.
Did you read the rest of her message to you?
Oh, I did read it out loud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I could read it again, but...
No, that's fine. I just didn't hear you.
Yeah. Funny, but when you're near me, I'm in the mood for love. I'm in the mood for love. Oh, somebody thanking us. Yes, for the stream. Outside.heaven. Thank you for the stream, Quinton. It's rare to hear such insights straight from the composer, and of course, your stories about auditioning and behind-the-scenes stuff as well. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Jack is back. So William Andrew Revelis War. You can find him on all platforms. His music is on, I listen to his music on the Spotify platform, but he's on all music platforms. Now, I guess I would ask the question to you, buddy. Is all of your music now under William Andrew Revelis, or do you still have music under Bill? Maybe you'll answer that in the chat, if you will. Someone's LOLing about something, which is good. Bring me on. Oh, bring me on, baby. Great. Excellent. Folks, we have another guest. I'm very excited about this. How is it working with Alistair Duncan Armstrong? Excellent. He's a wonderful man, an incredible actor. I think he's also a real estate agent, which a lot of actors have come to be, but not me. I'm holding out. Oh, Bill. So yeah, you can. I'm going to bring Bill on here, and you can hear his music under William Andrew Reveles or under Bill Reveles. And the last name is Reveles. 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 William Andrew Reveles is the best. Chocolate. Ah! All right. Let me pick up my phone for F's sake. Where is he? 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 Here we go. Request to join. No. I want to find Bill to join. I'm in the mood for love. There he is. He's coming on.
I think I'm on.
Well, you are. Yeah, you look great, man.
See me?
Hey, baby.
Talk about hairdos, man.
Just,
You're sharp.
It's not like yours. You got a great cut. I saw yours the other night, and I went, "That's what I need to do."
You know, hair by Billy Kent, body by Krispy Kreme.
Dude, who did your hair? What a great name.
A guy named Billy Kent. Yeah, he's a songwriter too, but
now,
great hairdo.
Obviously,
hair
you would
artist.
just say, if I said where, you'd say L.A., but because where specifically?
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills.
I love it.
In the heart, baby. Here I am in Beverly Hills.
It's you.
I miss you, man.
You know what? That's okay.
I'm gonna behave myself. I love what you're doing here.
We're signing
What's going
stuff.
on? Signing stuff.
Well, what's happening is we're honoring this game that I played a character in this game called Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and it came out in 2012. It's the 10-year anniversary of this particular character. Yeah, and there's also he did have some comic relief in the game when he wanted to disguise himself. You could tell how are you going to disguise this, the cyborg ninja? Well, he knew very simply to go into a shop and put on a sombrero and a poncho.
That you can
Exactly.
barely tell it's the same guy. It's excellent tradescrafts, as they call it in the business. Tradecraft. No, not trades. Tradecraft. When they talk about what do they do?
I don't know what it means. Trade.
I got booger? What's happening? Oh, tradecraft is what do they call them? Not associates, but anyone in the spy business. Tradecraft would be protocol, what to do when you're having certain problems. Yeah, so they'll say, remember your tradecraft.
Ask you this. That's part of their training.
I'm an analyst. I don't
part of their training as a warrior, if you will. If you're well, God, any unit, I suppose, right? If you're in the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines.
I think when you get to the level and you start doing intelligence, as they call it, intelligence, what a fucking more on that is.
FBI, MK Ultra.
Yeah, all that stuff. There's a film out about that, actually. Crazy. I listen to late night shows, and they're just guys who survived MK Ultra are not the guys you want to vote for. They're really scrambled. Their brains are scrambled.
Well, one of them beat Dr. Oz, actually, for a position in the politics, right? What was his name?
Oh.
Really?
No, no,
Herschel
actually,
Walker?
he lost, sadly. But I'm a big fan. No, this is another guy I was making a joke about. I know. Expense. He was more of a, I don't know what was wrong. He actually had a stroke, and yet they, do you know what state it was? Pennsylvania.
Is Georgia?
He was going up against Dr. Oz, and Dr. Oz, just by forming a complete sentence. Harder than make, but they
Right. Now it's Dr.
Right.
Phil and Dr. John. What are these guys? Why are all politicians not
We
politicians anymore?
should.
I mean, you and I could do it, right?
My cousin had a couple years ago because I was all
Tag team.
fired up about
The
it. He's like, you should be a politician. I said, how?
You know, because you have,
Yeah.
I think, intelligent ideology, and
Well, yeah, I guess
it makes sense. I don't think you should,
don't give up my
never
day
mind.
job.
But listen.
Oh.
No, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to make a very off-color joke.
That's
and
good.
I thought,
I don't know what it
I
is,
should
but
do
yeah,
that.
because this is not an 18+ show.
Yeah.
I mean, we can make some allusions to things. We can use innuendo, but what I've learned from, my on the road is
Yeah.
I had to cap myself and keep things clean, and
Yeah. Well, the climate's changed completely.
well, the only way
can't
we
even
could,
joke
and
about
you
anything.
and I can talk about this later, is if we would do a podcast. Well, then we should do it because
I love it.
folks have.
I'm reading
What's
your
that, buddy?
mind. I'm reading your mind. I'm reading your mind, and I like the way the hair just fell down. You see that, Samantha?
Uh-oh.
Do you see the way the hair? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh,
My main man. Your hair, it's like so it
Thanks.
hangs over. It's very cool.
Yeah.
You gotta wear that.
yeah,
What?
and I like you got the. I remember I wrote you and I called it the Roger McGuinn. I knew you'd get it
you were
because,
saying, yeah.
of course. But it looked, yeah, well, yeah. But the thing is, it's awesome that you have that with, the mod or the I don't know what we call it, the kind of the mod cut or the of that era, because when I remember McGuinn starting to grow that, his hair wasn't that long.
Right. That's when he, I guess, the
Well, yeah,
70s
but
came in. And
This he
Yeah, it makes
started in the
changes.
60s.
oh, did
Yeah, he would. I think he
that
started
would've been
around
very
the same,
good.
I don't know if it was the same time as the Beatles or not. Probably 67. It's my guess. 68 by 68, 69. I've concert of the Byrds playing at Royal Albert Hall. My mind was blown.
Wow. That is,
Yeah.
my mind is blown just hearing it.
I
That's
will.
pretty crazy. You got to send me
And we
that.
could set it up where we'll watch it together.
Okay. Oh, yeah. There's so much
Hang on
technology.
one
I
moment
love it.
here. Do we have any? No.
I don't want to take up all
it's
your show
fine.
here, my man.
I just want to do a signing for someone real quickly while you're sitting. This goes out to Alex.
Sure.
You know what? Good news for me. There's nothing in particular. Nothing in
Nothing in particular. There's
Yes.
nothing that's particular. Samantha,
She likes it. I do.
There's nothing
Oh,
than
baby.
particular. Do you know this song? Ask the sky above and ask the earth below why I'm so in love.
You are
and why I love
only what
so.
you meant.
I can't.
Come.
You know that.
I-
Take me, come make me on yours. When you went away, you left a swollen heart. Trying to be gay, it's like whistling in the dark.
Keep it up.
I don't know the rest of the words, man.
Beautiful.
That's good. I don't know, but I'm afraid that you're doing the same. There's children involved, and I'm singing old Jerry Lewis. Does anyone even know who Jerry Lewis is?
I assume they don't.
Want to write in?
They usually explain it. And what I do explain is that, here's the good news. The connection is that I play a character named Sheldon Lee from an animated series called My Life as a Teenage Robot. And he was in love with this robot named Jenny, who was XJ9. It was Nickelodeon.
Oh, I don't
Oh,
the name of the
name was,
character, the
Jenny.
ingenue. What was the name of him?
So take
let's
take
take
a
a
load
load
off.
off Jenny.
Jenny,
Take the load
I'm
off.
yours. Actually,
Well, am
I created the character of Sheldon based on Jerry Lewis. So
My character, Sheldon, Jenny, I'm in love with you. I love you, Jenny. Yes, of course. No, yes, right. That's true.
you know it, but I knew you would know it, and so
You know,
his name game.
you know his name game, right? Yeah. Okay. So, okay, tell me you introduce yourself to me and use a really hard last name, like, oh, it's Mr. Papanopoulos. Anyone you want.
My
And I'll
name
show you what
is
Jerry does. Learning of it.
gosh, Hai Topolopoulos.
It's nice to meet you, Topolopoulos.
No, it's
Then you go,
Topolopoulos.
no, it's Alpha Hoopatop.
No,
Okay,
it's
nice to meet
Topolopoulos.
you.
Oh my!
Topolopoulos.
Is that no?
Goes to this whole thing. So
Do
I
that
think
like
it's
on
funny.
a
Nobody else
stage show. Both.
Yeah. He was a master at
You're
making
right.
nothing
That's
funny.
what I do too, and so do
love
you. Hey, folks, this goes up to Alex. This is Raiden,
What's that?
and I says, "Let her rip, Alex." Here you go.
Okay.
Well, that's his
What are we
expression
ripping?
because he wields the keyblade.
Tower.
Key.
Okay.
No, he doesn't wield the keyblade. Sorry, that's Raiden. He wields a blade. He's and he defies the rules of nature, if you will.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like you
Hello.
and your wife.
What?
I don't know. Just like you,
I-
me, and ladies.
You are
All
only
kinds
what
of
you
women.
made me. Come to me. I'm
Come, Kay.
yours.
Why do I have this?
How do you, out of all the humans in the world that weren't Jerry Lewis, how do you know that song? Do you remember the movie?
I mean, I did know it, but I
Okay.
didn't know it.
Yeah.
You remembered it and taught me years ago. I've never forgotten it.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So we
Greatest.
should do a show, which we're doing right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Tell
Somebody
me
said
when. I
always
love
Miss
this.
Sam. So I don't.
Because I said Biden's a key. Over.
Yeah.
What happened?
What?
I missed something good. Yeah, I could probably learn how to use technology better because you got a nice picture. You can see it. I guess that's a lighting thing, but I can figure that out.
Well, all
You know,
all
You wanna
you
be able to
need if
see
you
my
sit
beautiful
somewhere
face.
is have a key light, which means a light in front of you. It doesn't have
like a ring
ring
light.
light if you have one, but it doesn't have to be.
Ring?
Well, then
I do.
you put that on in front of you, and I mean,
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna for now. I'm just gonna be stationary like this.
I can see.
But when we
much
do
better
it, I
now.
will have it nice lit.
Yeah, you look cool,
Okay.
man. Are those prescription glasses too? Oh,
They are.
I got to get a pair of those because
You know, it look good on you. These with the yellow.
Yes,
Like Jack Nicholson.
the
Like
yellow
a sandwich board.
you
I
do.
got
You
I got the Royal
blue
Orbison.
and I'll do yellow. Heather will be.
I go to the obstetrician.
Jack.
I've got to go to the obstetrician.
It's a good thing because your baby's gonna need glasses after that, right? Hello.
Not for children.
Not for
Ladies and
children.
For Matthew Tate.
Children.
And Matthew has no special instructions for me, but we are honoring the 10th anniversary of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance right here, right now. And I'm going. Who am I?
Are you a hero?
I am
You're a
I
hero
am
on most of these shows.
the
yeah?
hero
You
in
got a
Metal
hero
Gear
type
Rising
voice,
Revengeance.
yeah.
It's even amazing to say it. I'm the hero. Yeah.
Are you allowed
Yeah,
to do the
I am
voice? I don't want to put you
I
on
am
the
like
spot.
the
Wait,
Ray transformed. Now,
Oh, that's
Jack.
good, man. Do you remember those? I'm sorry. Go more.
now it's
Do
time
that again.
to let her rip.
What is this? Do you remember all the characters you came up with? So many
yeah.
in the weeks we were staying together
Yeah.
over here in Los Angeles. Remember Beefy? You don't remember Beefy? I have it on tape somewhere, by the way. I
Of
kept it.
course. I
You
couldn't
remember
do it
Beefy?
now because I'd have to hear it. We were, you know what?
Yeah. But it was,
Well,
I thought it was the greatest thing.
This,
You just came up with
tell
it.
the folks
Boom, boom.
what you're talking about so they understand. They're in the audition
Okay.
process.
This is an audition process. I don't know voice recording artists like Quinton. I don't know the procedure exactly, but I did for a couple of weeks witness what he did. So he'd get what they call sides, copy. You get something from the show, and they wanted to hear, I guess, your
For
interpretation
auditioning for the
of it.
role.
For the role. And I don't know what the
Yes.
role was, but your character was called Beefy. And I don't know, I got this feeling I just wanted Taco Bell when you were done talking. I don't know what happened. No, so you were auditioning for this, and you get a chance to just open your brain, let it fall all over the place. And it's great, though, because all these characters you did were outstanding. I wonder, did Beefy ever
not for
become
me,
something?
sadly. I was very disappointed because I thought Beefy was so much fun. You know, we'll have to create our own show to honor Beefy.
Yeah. Well, do the folks know you can do like what 60 voices in 1 minute? Or what
You
is
can
it?
tell them that.
30 and
Oh
30?
gosh, there's that one on YouTube. There's
yeah. So how do they get to see that thing? They got to see that. That's 30 voices
under
in
3 minutes.
what,
Yeah,
3 minutes?
it's me telling the story of Little Red Riding.
You got to watch this. Yes, and he does his multitude of voices. There's probably 30 more somewhere hidden.
Right.
You know, probably 30 more that aren't even created.
This is
yet.
true.
Yeah. Do you ever get confused who you are? Are you ever think you're one of those guys? And
hasn't happened yet. I have not. I've not had a mental breakdown and separation from reality as a character, just as myself. When I had a consciousness or conscience. Conscience. That's right.
Conscience.
I didn't know who I was.
Conscience. Mrs. Purdy. Just let me. If you put the leg lift, if you lift, go lift. I'll lift this. You do that. Turn around. Sounds like Twister. No, but seriously, they really should see. These people are watching us right now. Go look this up. How would they find it, Quinton? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, tell them to
the YouTube.
I guess tell them to go to YouTube and look up. You could look up Quinton Flynn impressions because it says 30
Are you listening,
impressions.
people? There you go. Okay.
But Quinton Flynn, 30 impressions.
Funny stuff, though.
Boom, right there. Hold on.
There you go. I suggest you do that. I do it every 6 months just to remember him because he's not here anymore. Where'd you go, Lincoln? Do the people know where we live?
Where you live, where I live at all? Between us. Okay.
I'm just curious. I don't know who's on here.
Well, the people
How many people
who are on here right now are fans of the work I do, and this is a streaming, assigning specifically for fans who purchased autographs of mine, and then I sign them and I show them so they see that I've signed for them in in real life what they'd asked for. And
that's great.
Exactly.
And then you
right now I'm going to do one to Matthew Tate.
And they have it.
Matthew. Oh, yes.
Same character?
Yes.
These are all, but there's a bunch of different characters.
This one is Raiden. We've had a couple of others tonight, but that's because it's a 10-year anniversary. That's why there's so many. Yeah.
Oh, of the show? What is the name show?
It's called Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Even though you and I both know Revengeance is not a word. Yeah.
I'm not going to say. I will not go down the path of creating.
I do.
Correcting. Not here.
I don't on this one because I just got used to it. If someone would say to me, that's not a word, I'd say, oh boy, do I know it. But
well, there's a lot of room for creative choices, and especially I like the way I don't know if this is okay to say, but like South Park, I don't it's so irreverent, and when you do it to a character, the animated character, well, Sam, you can really say a lot.
Showed me a special. Hold on, one commercial break. This goes out to Matthew Tate.
Please.
See that, Matthew? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? The chrome signature.
That's good.
Letter rip, Matthew Tate. With lots of love. Quinton Flynn, huh?
Did you write that? Did you write Let Her Rip?
Well, yeah.
That's the
Let Her
sign.
Rip.
That's his thing, right?
I Am Lightning, the Rain Transformed. What's this one say? Let's see. Oh my. There's a lot on this one. Oh no. Let me read this to myself. Wasn't friends for a decade, really. First started burning. Okay. I'm making this out to see if I can pronounce this correctly. Darius Foruzes. Darius Foruzes. And this is for a friend's birthday. We've been friends for a decade and really first started bonding over Revengeance and Kingdom Hearts. He is finishing his PhD in chemistry. That's always impressive to me. That always makes me feel less than.
Yeah.
I'll compare and despair.
Yeah.
Au contraire.
Oh, well, all you got to do is say, hey, I know the periodic table by heart. Ask me anything you want. And then,
exactly.
And then
and
break
if they ask
transmission,
me
of course.
the question, I say, well, I know that, but I only answer it periodically.
Of course. Because it's true. Exactly. It's a table of that.
Exactly.
A table of disillusionment.
This is amazing. DAR.
You can just get things all over the world.
Yeah. I don't actually pay attention to addresses myself, but yes. I just really focus on the signing, and Sam knows more about where they're going than I do. But yes, I have global popularity because of these characters and many, many more.
I know. So where does this show air? Where
anywhere.
See this?
Anyone who can. Well, on Instagram.
Any service?
Anyone who notices that I'm on and wants to be a part of it, they just click on to watch, to listen, and see. There's messages down in the bottom, which I'll just say, folks,
right?
Let us know where you are from right now. What state, what country? We're curious where you're tuning in from, and I've had folks from all over the world. What's to say? Dang, stream has been up for about 3 hours. Yeah, you're lucky. What does it say? What do you do if you get crushed by a 4-ton? What? A 4-ton? Well, I think you die.
Let it ride.
Unless, look at that.
It ride.
You're rising to re-rippening. That's hilarious. Yeah, I've never heard that. It's brilliant.
Colorado. Here's someone. There you go.
There you go.
Aqua from Colorado, I think it said. And there's Texas. Hello, Texas. Can I have your gun? What are we? You're going so fast. You got recognized to what? Fontana. Is that California? LOL. No, where's that? I'm kidding. I can't. Peter Collin joined, and we've got Ollie. He's gone. You're moving too fast, kids.
You don't have to read their names. You just ask.
I love that.
Read where they're from.
Oh, sorry. I got a North Korea.
Northeast Pennsylvania.
Do you see that?
I think you get a description.
Oh, that's not in Korea? No, there was one back there that said North Korea. That's either funny or cool. Yeah.
She laughed. It's funny.
Samantha, did you see it?
This one goes out to Darius Foruzes. Yes.
That's
Adios, amigos.
It's another person.
No, that's the same.
Another character.
Yeah, right.
Yeah? Same guy.
It's right.
With a different hat.
And we have more.
They should made him look like you. They should should have made the character look like you.
No.
Have you seen the character they made after me? The monster in me? Would you like to see it? I got it right here. Okay, there's a push-up. Look at, I did a push-up in the right way. Okay, here we go. I want to show you this. This is supposed to be me. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Sorry. People. Okay. This is Lea and Axel, my song for the new record.
Back it up more.
Can you see?
Now put it up higher, straight up, vertically. More. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool.
That guy right there is supposed to be.
It doesn't
me.
look like you. Now,
Which one
but
would
that's
you
not
pick?
your. Oh, your hair was longer then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the song. I'm sorry. It's based on one of my songs, but I haven't read it yet. It makes me nervous. But you haven't seen it?
Sounds
Sorry.
Oh man, yeah, I did read your joke. Somebody, that's excellent. Now tell people what you're showing them, Bill, because they're not going to know. I know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I don't want to
Oh,
interrupt what you're doing, baby. I just got animated and scared.
Somebody.
Yes. Oh, nice.
I'm just going to say this because Ninjango _ master _ Lloyd joined. Someone is from Jovan from the Republic of Serbia in southeastern Europe. Texas, yes, Fontana near Los Angeles.
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't looked at this before. This is incredible.
I do. Usually I look, but I'm so my focus is split between that, which I have to see. I have to get my face very close to the screen because of my
I see.
Look at this. I'm a fan of Quinton for over 10 years. This is such a blessing. Thank you, Constantine. And okay, now we're clear.
Yes.
I'm going to sign this while you tell them what you were showing us.
Okay. They have a new album out called Laurel Canyon, and one of the songs on there, one of the singles, is called "The Monster in Me." Now, this is a horror type, fiction type comic book, and so they basically interpreted one of my songs. And I'm going to say loosely because it's got a lot of Greek mythology in it. So if you know about the Greek gods, apparently I am the best musician in the world. And when women hear me, their heads get cut off. I don't know. I'm put in a basket. I'm floating down the Crete River. What is it? Crete?
A little.
Do you know the mythology at all?
Sam knows it much better than I do.
So Sam, you know the people that they put they ferry you across this water. Okay, so it's based on that, and apparently I don't keep girlfriends, so I cut their heads off, something like that. I don't know about that part, but yeah, it's available anyway. If you want to take a look at it, where? On my website, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Which is, can I get that? I don't want to do this.
It looks like
all right.
The character that's you. The artwork reminds me a lot of the original Crow comics.
Crow, CROW.
Okay,
I don't.
I think I know what that is.
From the '90s. It's really good. Yeah.
Oh, the Crow.
Yeah.
The Brendan Lee fella? Oh, what a tragedy. Yes. Okay. It does look like that. And even inside the book, not the cover, they did a really nice job. You know, I am not a comic book aficionado.
Thank you.
But I'm a fan because of Quinton to watch this stuff. And it's, it's really Shakespearean in scope. If you think about it, these stories are amazing. And they come from a lot of places. Yeah, so it's based on this Greek mythology thing about the best musician in the world that ties in the Crossroads, Robert Johnson Crossroads mythology. And if anyone doesn't know what that is, Robert Johnson was a man who, according to the legend, discovered the blues and made a deal with the devil. Like that's when they're selling your soul to get known and become famous. I mean, you have to give me your soul.
Right.
That's the Crossroads.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Did I explain that okay? All right. So that's tied in here too a little bit because I need to move on and I can't, apparently. So I'm stuck in this bar and, I wish I knew the names of the places. That's kind of stupid here.
That when
the name of the bar. And yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not a comic book expert by any means, but it was a great idea to do. And if you guys want to look at it and read it, just go to my website. That's William Andrew Reveles. R as in Robert, E, V as in Victor, E-L-E-S. So that's my full name, WilliamAndrewReveles.com, right? No, what's
Could
the
be.
website
Could be
address?
dot,
.com?
org.
Okay,
Could be
that's what it is.
whatever.
So yeah, you go there and you can hear all the music. It's free. Download it, have fun, and the comic book too. I'd actually like to know what you guys think, since this is a comic book world.
Sam's going to type in your website.
Okay, thank you guys.
And
Thank you for having me on.
For this,
I appreciate it.
I have actually a print here for Anthony Oki. And Anthony, I read what you wrote, if you're out there. And if you're not out there now live, you will be when you see this, because I'm going to leave this up for others to see, like yourself. And I'm glad that you have refound your love of video games and replaying Revengeance and having fun for the first time in years. This goes out to you as I put adios amigos and a big heart for you there. Anthony, my friend, all the best today. And that's going to be coming out to you in a little while. What do I have next here? Let's see. What do we have next? We have...
Look at that. Chipper 2 sent you 5 to 8 hearts.
Oh,
Chipper.
Hi, Chipper.
And Constantine is back.
I'm
Hey,
glad
Constantine.
to see Chipper 22. He was here yesterday, but I want to apologize because I mistakenly assumed that Chipper 22 was a friend of mine from high school, a guy named Chip McTighe, who went by the nickname of Chipper, and his football jersey was number 22. So he was known for the number 22. So when I saw Chipper 22 yesterday, I thought it was McTighe, and I started telling the whole story of Chip and I, what we did in high school, the plays we did. Inspector Clouseau, he played Inspector Dreyfus. I played the professor, in Pink Panther Strikes Again. I went on, and only later to realize that Chip McTighe. But it's Chipper, and we're glad you're here.
Well, if he would have gone on to play football at the Division I level, and he went to, let's see, Central Michigan Chippewas, that would have been very Chip,
wouldn't it?
A lot of Chipper.
I'll say.
There was a lot of Chipper going on.
I'll tell you. Were just improvising a fake story.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's a he or she, but you're right. No. Chipper 22 said, what a crazy coincidence. I just thought you were improvising a fake story. Actually, that's why they laughed, because I know I was telling the truth. And that's what I usually do. But I can improvise if you want. I'll absolutely do. In the meantime, that's most of what I was doing.
I thought you were too.
Tyler, right? Whatever you want. Well, I'm going to put, all the love in the world, which reminds me of the band. The outfield.
The Quills. The Quills. Oh boy.
I'll be sending you, girl. Now,
that was an interestingly recorded band back in the 80s, 90s.
Like 1985, 86.
That was a big record. But that snare sounded like a rocket. Right?
Yeah, and this
is all snare and guitar and a high voice.
Hey, look at this. Oh, this is great.
I know.
Carla _Laconti. Love you, Carla. It says, remember, ... Cleveland rocks. We love you. Now, see, Carla's father, Hank LeConte, very well known in Cleveland, was the owner, and Carla, correct me if I'm wrong, of not only the Cleveland Agora, but did he actually?
Oh wow!
Did he create the chain of Agoras, Carla, or was he specifically the owner of the Cleveland Agora? I think he also may have owned the Akron Agora, which I played at in the 80s, and the man was a gentleman by the name of Fior Airillo. And Carla is, you know, she. Oh, he. Oh,
All
okay, well,
13, yes.
Bill would know because I've told
You know
Bill
all
about
those? Oh.
the agoras. There was a whole circuit.
Are these the
That's
Agora
exactly it.
Ballroom? Was that part of this or no?
This is
Okay.
Hank's
We
daughter,
know
and
it. It's very
she
famous.
was back in Cleveland. I don't know. Are you back in Cleveland, Carla, or are you back in Los Angeles currently? Because she's moved to Los Angeles from Cleveland, Bill, but she was back in Cleveland recently and put up some great still images that I commented on. And
is she following her? Is her father?
she's not following in his footsteps
Father,
as a business. Well, she will do business, but she's an artist herself, songwriter. She shoots videos, stills. She could probably tell you better. That's what she
is. She in Los
is.
Angeles?
Here we. That's it.
She's black in Cleveland.
You rock.
I think it says.
You could tell,
Dude.
Bill.
What am? If he's dude, what? Don't. I'm not going to even ask.
What
am I?
You're a dude. I'm a dude. I'm sure they call me.
We're dudes.
All the young dudes.
The two dudes. Yes.
News.
Oh, they carry the.
But
These
Carla
people don't know what that even is. I bet. Does she? Well, is Carla a child or an adult?
I mean, I think she made it out to Los Angeles and then back to Cleveland, and you know, yeah. Well, here, Bill, you can read this aloud. She's saying she's carrying on.
Oh, okay.
Agora as an name. Let's not make this about me, however. Thank you. Agora Magic. Big G, for connecting us. Yeah, it is the Agora Magic. I love playing the Agora. I love listening to bands who played the Cleveland Agora on the on the radio. They would play them quite often, and I'll just say all the young dudes. Sure, that was Mappa Hoople. It was written. That was the band out of England. It was written by Ian Hunter. And I'll just end it by saying this, and Bill, you and Carla could appreciate this. I met Ian Hunter at the 50th anniversary of the first rock and roll show, which was in Cleveland in 1952. So 62, 72, 82. Oh, so the 50th anniversary of the inception of rock and roll. Inception, the first show. 1952, I met Ian Hunter in Cleveland at the show. What would that have been? 92 or 02? No, 50.
Well, 30 years? Oh, okay.
62, 72, 82, 92, 02. In 2002, I met Ian Hunter backstage at the 50th anniversary show. And I also met, he wrote all the young dudes, of course. And, and very underrated. He also wrote Ships, you know? that the Big Animal covered and it hit with.
Beautiful. That's crazy. I love that, though. You know, the juxtaposition of one style and so the other. It's just like that video, the thing you sent me about.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Garth Brooks, a bunch of people covered it. It was a beautiful song. I think Hope Floats,
Julia.
What is that young lady's name?
Correct.
Bullitt. Sandra Bullitt? Yes. And that was a beautiful, beautiful song. And it worked, but it was a cover. And I wanted to find the Dylan version, which I know wasn't going to be as romantic, of course. But the way he does things. So
you're not even.
I wanted to hear the original.
Right?
What was that?
I ended up sending it to you without even.
Yes.
Bill,
you did.
You just got a follower to your page, and they're letting you know. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
What's that?
So Quinton and I go back. What do you think?
Oh, you should follow Bill on TikTok.
Oh, Lord. Don't hold me to it, but have fun.
It's become another home for me, for sure. I would love to set up, have an interview with you sometime, Quinton. Absolutely. I have great respect for Cleveland's Jane Scott, own inner writer. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I am so with you, Carla. Yeah, we will do that.
You Ohioans have great respect for music. It's really great. I said, you Ohioans, you Ohio guys, people have a great respect for music, and the city shows it. And you know what? It opens its arms.
Yes.
Well, Ohio's a state,
Absolutely.
but Cleveland. So you probably know the logistical breakdown of all that. And I won't get into it because it's probably very boring. But I know that a lot of great music came that very fertile ground of songwriting. Now, is
Yes.
there a Carmen Raspberries? Are they from there? Yeah. Can you beat that band?
Oh, no.
They'll
It's
go all
amazing.
the way.
By the
that
way,
song.
real pause here. This is Tyler. Much love, Tyler. This one goes out to you. And thank you, Tyler. I hope you're doing well. And we got another one to sign coming in hot. That one's hot off the presses. This one, too. This goes to T-Mall. My brother is a metaphorical chef. He cooks up cool YouTube videos for a living. Could you please put "Keep it cooking, T-Mall" or something similar with a smiley face? I will actually write that specifically because it's perfect. Keep it cooking, T-Mall. Yeah, I know, but it's
Very nice. So what's he doing on YouTube?
He cooks up some cool
videos
YouTube
together?
videos for a living. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Well,
Would that
there are
be referred as a
mashups,
mashup or that's just
in
a music thing?
I don't know that there are any in video,
Yeah.
but they do use video and music together. So I don't know that
That's
T-Mall
lovely.
does that.
Is there anything better?
I can't verify
Okay.
nor
Well,
deny.
we'll check out T-Mall. See what's. We all know Ohio is crazy.
Ask him if he's
Alpha
from
Man
Ohio.
Styles. Mac, are you from Ohio, sir? Anyway, there's Constantine, man. I love your name. Seriously. He's gone, though. Wait.
Constantine?
Mac off. There's Mac.
Now, this is good. There's
Mine
Constantine. Is
64.
Ohio all right? Oh, all right now. The reason they're asking is because of what happens in Palestine. Palestine, Ohio, or Palestine? Do you know, Bill? The train. No, the train derailment where
Middle East.
all
Sorry.
was filled.
I'm sorry. When did this happen?
Just within the
I feel like
last
an idiot now.
few days, it's major spill. It's akin to what happened. Maybe not as big, but nearly in Chernobyl. Yeah.
No kidding.
No, we don't. It's horrible.
Do we know what's happening?
Hiding, and so is the media. Ohio train fires, all kinds of fish died.
I think FEMA is only just now.
People are ill. FEMA is only getting there to help them out. It's crazy.
Hopefully they did it faster
I
in
don't know
Louisiana.
about that. Somebody just asked, why did I grow out my hair?
Oh, boy.
Because. That's the answer. Because. Constantine said they're from Greece. I don't know if it's true or not, but it could be.
That makes sense. Do you know that, remember Room 2222? There's like Constantine was an actor, a character actor in the 70s and 60s.
That's true.
Last name, Michael Constantine.
Somebody said, yeah, that train accident. Oh, Chipper Tip 22. The crane accident is some kind of crazy stuff. Thanks for up and not being talked about. Well, you know what? It is. And I think it was a setup. Yeah, in fact, there was a movie on Netflix that was called White Noise that came out in 2022. And well, the story that is revealed in that is exactly what just happened. Yeah.
Really? Do you remember who was in that? Was that Michael Keaton by any chance?
Have to look it up.
Okay. I'm glad I'm prepared.
It's okay.
The Patriots. What did
they suppress it from the media.
I like this stuff.
See, that's a crossover from the game.
Oh, no,
I know, Bill. You got to. It's hard
What's
to keep
going on here?
Chinese, I can't always tell you. But
fish.
Sam can always pipe in.
Billet and foster their memes.
What? Billet and foster their memes no longer. I agree. It's crazy the last couple of days. Too many weird events going on. Multiple derailments and a truck turned over in Arizona. You are right.
So it's happening in more than one state?
Yes.
This issue?
Yes, there are
Is
no
there a
coincidences.
thread
Anybody
connection?
who thinks that it's a coincidence is an idiot who's sticking their head in the sand and eating out of their asses. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, the ass eaters. I like those guys. They live
I
right next to the
should
ant
say.
eaters. It's very weird. I should say so. Well, this is news to me. I'm sorry, I'm ignorant to this. I live in Los Angeles, and if I
That's
want to
true.
watch the news, I
That is
just look out my
true.
window. It's all there. Yeah. And who's
By the
saying
way,
what? What's going
is
on here,
all
people?
placed in Ohio.
Think, think.
What do you mean? Who's saying?
So you mentioned it was near, like a Chernobyl. So
It took
where's the
it took
radioactive?
place
Where's the
in
nuclear
Palestine,
issue?
Ohio.
Okay. And that's,
No, this was
they have a nuclear
a
plant there?
train derailment, and
Okay.
the cars were carrying toxic chemicals, and the name of those
Gotcha. Now I
chemicals
understand.
escapes me at the
Vinyl
moment.
chloride.
What is it, honey?
Vinyl chloride.
Vinyl chloride.
I
Well,
have some in my medicine chest. How much do you need?
Vanguard and BlackRock were owning these train companies, and BlackRock owns a lot. I don't know if they own all or most of the corporations, maybe the media corporations. Good question. Mac Alpha is going to be right back. Just going to go do something. Well, we'll be waiting with bated breath and talking about behind you.
Yeah.
Could be going
Where you
to the
going?
bathroom for all we know.
Mac, what you doing, buddy? Oh, aliens. I see something here. What is this?
No,
It's too late
it's
to bring up aliens.
never too late,
Asking
Carla.
for a friend.
I'm on it. I know what you're talking about. The aliens are
Ask
coming,
always.
but they're not
Sure.
really. It's going to be a show. It's because of the ability of what can be done with lasers and virtual 3D technology or visual 3D technology that has actually been seen inside and above people in a not an arena but a stadium. There were 3D, no,
On the
no,
jumbotrons
3D in front of you and above your heads. Images of whales and dolphins. Okay, this you can find online. It looked like they were actually floating above and in front of you, and they were three-dimensional. So here's what's going on. They've been writing about and talking about the aliens that are going to be seen, that are going to be coming. And, are they really going to be aliens? I doubt it. Am I going to bring up the staged hologram war? Well, yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, the truth of the matter is what's happening already with a lot of these wars and a lot of these accidents and killings and murders that we see perpetuated by the media, a lot of them are staged. And a lot of people think, oh, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist. But no, I'm not. If you know the magic of Hollywood that we see where belief has been suspended and you see something, you go, that looks so real. Well, it can look so real. And if you don't have the technology and the ability to make something even simpler look graphically real, then you're not thinking.
Yeah. Just look what you're doing on your phone with green
exactly.
screens. I mean, that's very heavy, and I love the fact that you chase these things. Not chase, but you go after this. I love it.
It's out there. The
you
Blue
tell
Beam
the truth
Project.
to the people.
That's correct. That's what Constantine's referring to.
What is the Blue Beam Project? I missed that one. I love it.
It's out there, and you can look it up. I can't get into that right now because right now I'm going to take a pause for the cause. And going to sign this for T-Mal, who cooks up cool YouTube videos for a living. Can we please keep it real? Can you keep it cooking, T-Mal? I can, and I'm doing it right now. Keep it cooking, T-Mal. And I'm Timon. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. It means no worries for the rest of your days. Yeah, the cabal. Anyway, here we go. It rhymes.
Cabal.
I'm going to own it because I'm Timoning it. I'm Timoning it. Hakuna
Matata. I ordered that.
Keep it real. Keep
That's
it cooking, Tamal.
100%. What is? I didn't. I'm saying things I don't.
We'll
know.
talk about what you do know.
Well,
There you
you
go.
know what I know. That was it. Thank you very much. That was a pregnant pause,
Why
but
don't you
yeah, it's not pregnant anymore.
ask Mac
We'll
where
get
he
into
was
that another
and what he
time.
was doing?
So, Matt, where were you and what were you doing? Tell us a bit about this, please. I'm very interested. No joke. We're honest on this show, and that means I tell the truth. I don't know exactly what's going on, but you know who knows? Quinton. So, Matt, talk to me.
No,
He's not
typing
talking
right
to
now.
me. Unless he's...
Yeah.
All right.
I'm watching.
Oh, is he typing? Okay. I forgot. There's a... Even out here in Greece, what do we got? Yeah, there's a man, Constantine. How you doing, brother?
Okay, and as that's
Sorry about the dead time. I'm just reading all these
pause you for a
fascinating
moment,
things.
and let's give this love and a shout out to Timal, saying, you know, you cook up some cool YouTube videos for a living, so keep it cooking, Timal. Keep it cooking, Timal.
Yeah, Timal. I'd love to see that man's work. I'm going to look for him. Timal?
Yeah, I bet if you search his name, then they'll probably have some links to videos that he has actually put together.
You have some very fine people here.
I agree.
You work with.
And you included.
Thank you. Well, maybe we'd have to resort to doing this because I don't get to see you enough.
Good.
I could do this all day with you. Okay. Is
No,
Samantha
she's
rolling her eyes
focused on
right now?
something else. No,
Is it
your
my
hair
hair?
is great.
Is that the problem? You know those guys that walk around, women and men. I'm going to guess it's a younger audience demographic. Would you say?
Not on there for some reason, but it's added on here. They might have added it.
Yeah.
I just want to be recognized.
One of these.
I'm recognizing you.
I started letter. Hang on.
Hello. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
What did I say? Jack is back. Excellent.
I'm just talking to the people while you figure that out. Super Bowl ties. Super Bowl ties. Talk to me about that.
No, it wasn't a tie.
Close.
What do you mean? What do I mean? I mean,
what do you mean?
That was bought and sold. That was bought and sold and given to the Chiefs. I mean, that when they took away that one. That was a joke.
Oh, yeah. What, the pass interference?
What?
The pass interference. Sorry,
I'm talking about the end. He actually had a reception, and they called it, and then I thought it was not a reception. They reversed it. It took about 10 minutes to focus on you.
What was the call on the field? The call on the field was a catch? Okay. So they need irrefutable information to overturn it.
I'm sorry, say again?
That's the rule, right? I'm sorry. They need irrefutable. They need, evidence, empirical evidence that to turn the call, to change the call, you need evidence beyond reproach. It's got to be beyond a shadow of a doubt. So if there's a bobble, it may not be enough to overturn. There's got to be some things there. So what are you saying? What did you see?
Absolutely, it was a catch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they reverse the charge? The charge. Is that the one where he bobbled and then he ended up on the sideline?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
This one goes out to Ryder. Oh, I saw the one you're talking about. You're right. I agree. Ryder, Jack is back. And now it's time for Jack to let her rip. So we are streaming, folks. And yes, this has been a long stream, but it's also been I'm sorry?
We only have a few left.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to tell him what I was going to say. We've got a couple more. No, they're very about this. I just have a couple more signatures, and then Bill and I will just kind of chit chat with y'all. So yeah, you have another question, Ezra's Extravi? Like you ask your question and I'm going to go back to signing, so we'll do both at the same time. Oh, 88,
Wait,
you want an
somebody
autograph.
wants an autograph.
Well, Thomas, you know the deal. You go to Quinton Flynn. No, you go to Streamily.com/Quinton Flynn. You can do that now, and they're still selling them. And of course, now he's laughing because I think he already got one. I could.
Oh, you're getting greedy,
Okay.
Ezra. Ezra's fine, thanks. I think they solved it for you.
Yes,
hey, Quinton,
in
do you voice Spider-Man?
Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Snake, no, it's my turn to protect you. That's Raiden. Yeah, I'm your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. In fact, let's see if I do have one of those prints with me, and I do, and it's right here. Isn't that cool?
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Looks
I'll
like my
trust you on
underwear.
that.
Okay. I do want to talk about underwear. I went shopping
in a moment.
Would you like to
Put
share?
that on hold so I can tell folks.
Okay.
This one's going to go out to Ty. And this is Iruka. Ty wants me to write, you are one of my most precious students. And the student is Naruto, who's on top of Iruka's shoulders when Naruto was a child. This is a beautiful print. They did a better job than they had before. Did you notice that, Sam?
Yeah, it's a little sharper.
Yeah, the color is fantastic. Okay, this one's going out to Ty. And let me just write it down here, Ty. T-A-I. You're one of my most precious students. Correct. Because
students?
Sensei is a teacher.
Teaching these fine people.
Correct.
Okay. Sensei?
Mm-hmm.
I learned the very specific art. It requires devotion, dedication, sincere focus.
Of what?
I mastered it.
Oh.
I don't know. I made it all up. I have none of that. Damn it.
How dare you? You're full of it.
No, I'm full of them.
May I have another one?
Oh, thanks,
please.
you.
I got distracted by Bill.
I'm sorry. Oh, what? Don't rip.
No.
Ripping ain't good.
I don't
even do it?
Choice. Because I got distracted.
Oh yeah.
I'm very sorry. I should behave myself. I'm being silly.
Oh my God.
Michael, keep it down and watching history. I'm fascinated, but the comments
Well, that's
you get,
part of the
write
deal.
you all the time.
Only 5.
Yeah.
They're very excited. Let me show you folks a new image of Jin, the virtuoso. Look how sharp and beautiful.
Wow.
This is done by Prince Charming.
Beautiful.
And they're in Los Angeles. Prince Charming. Now this I'm going to sign for Ty right now, and I'm going to get it right this time. Ty, you from Iruka Sensei. You are one of Naruto. You are one of my most precious students. You're one of my most precious students. You're one of my most precious students. Boy, it's going to be tough, but I'm going to do it. You're one of my most precious students. Ty. Who?
Ultimate Alliance. Sorry, reading
cool.
just commentary. It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's fun. You know, technology and for whatever it's worth, a lot of young people, they've grown up with this. We did not. But to be able to talk to the people that you admire what they work, wouldn't that have been something?
Mm-hmm.
The connection we could have had just talking. Yep. Pretty amazing.
That's right.
I hope you guys know that. And all of you should know the Beatles. Because, listen, I don't care if you were born yet or not, but that's like me saying I don't know who Count Basie is. Don't even ask. But just because I wasn't alive doesn't mean it was wasn't good music. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, but if somebody asks why, how about that? Okay.
Well, let's see. Somebody asked me.
Well, because you said you should know them, but why should they? That's my question.
I believe they should know them because everything that we love and hear today has some sort of connection to what came before it. Not some. I made it sound like arbitrary. No, it's not arbitrary. It's direct. There's a family tree of music, and I saw this poster in the studio one time, and somehow they had all the British acts, all the American acts. I think the last year they did it was probably 2000, but they tied it in so beautifully, just out of trees. The idea of branches, trees, family tree. They used that, and they somehow tied everyone in. All the artists from the 60s and 70s. So what I'm saying is, I don't think without certain bands that we would have what we have today. It's not. It sounds a little pontificated.
This has been
I'm sorry.
Sponsored by REVELS. Revelis is the best chocolate. Oh, sorry. REVELES. Revelis is the best chocolate.
Stop stealing my vowels.
Pulled one
Not
up.
my vowels, my vowels.
Hey, this one goes out to Ty. There it is. You are one of my most precious students, Ty. Look how beautiful that is. That is for you. We only have a couple more signings. I want to thank you all for being patient, those folks out there, and I hope you enjoyed the interview that I did earlier with Jamie Christofferson, and we're so lucky to have Bill Revelis, or William Andrew Revelis, as he's known in the popular music circles, and Americana in particular. Bill, tell them about what you just finished doing in Kansas City.
Yes, it's called Folk Alliance, and it is not just folk music, it's really Americana. It branches out even more than that. You'll see a lot of unique acts in the sense that some of it's a lot of older people still doing folk. There's new folk, and there's new music like Americana, roots. I think that it conquers or covers all elements of music: folk, blues, jazz, rock. Nothing is eliminated, and that's why I like the genre Americana. So you're invited to play here. They have seminars. It's a kind of a conference and festival, and everyone comes down to Kansas City once a year, takes over a hotel, and by the end of the night, after you do your sets, you can walk to any room on 3 floors, and they have another concert going in the hotel room. So just people set up and play. It's a very community-oriented thing. So that's always good, So it's a privilege to get invited, and it's a joy to do. A lot of good music people, a lot of great songwriters.
Part of that, folks. And we're glad he's here. He's a dear friend of mine I've known for many, many, many years. In the meantime, I do want to say hi to Maz out there, who's a big fan. And the answer to your question, if Konami was to release a sequel to Metal Gear Rising, do I think it would be successful? Jamie and I talked about that earlier. We don't know. We said if it was done properly, we would be happy to be a part of it. And then if it equaled or surpassed what we did in the first Metal Gear Rising, then yes, we do believe it would be successful. So Bill and I have known each other since the 90s? Early 90s, right?
You're probably the very early
and
90s.
One of the first songs Bill taught me on guitar was called Ain't That Lonely Yet by Dwight Yoakam. Beautiful.
Oh, God.
So I think I remember hearing you play it, and I said, that's such a great, I wish I could. And you said, you can, I'll teach you.
Your lyrics.
You
are
can.
I am the thunder.
Do the people know what a glorious,
Well,
wonderful songwriter you are?
very kind of you to say that.
Have they heard your
don't
music?
know that they know a lot about that, no. Sure, but before you say it, I'm just going to say one thing. I have to sign this autograph for Katarina Mutafi, and I did sing on a song called Heart Won't Die by a band called Remake, and they're out of England. So I spoke as Raiden on this track, and I sang on it as well, and they want to have a lyric. So this is tying in perfectly with what you're bringing up. And I'm looking to see where am I singing? Where am I singing?
I am the thunder.
I am the thunder, the raging storm, plagued by darkness since I was born. The only thing I've ever known is how to fight a war, but right now I don't know what I'm fighting for. I'm a soldier of hell, and with my tool of justice, I will prove to the world I'm so much more. All right, and can you see the lightning strike, illuminating the darkest nights? And I will fight for what is right. The man may be gone, but the heart won't die.
Nice.
It's a song
Now, is that a song was
written by
for the
a
show?
band who is a fan.
Did you write that?
Who is a fan of the game
The English.
and his character
Yeah.
Raiden. So they had me sing these lyrics in this particular song, and it coincides with you bringing up my singing and songwriting, as this person's asking for me to write a quote from the song that I sung a part on, and that they want a part of a quote. So there we go. So I'll feel free to absolutely say whatever you like about my songwriting.
Okay. So what are the I love the two songs, and the names escape me. So help me with this. What are the two songs that you? It was a soft release, and where can somebody hear that? Was it SoundCloud? No, it wasn't that.
Puzzled Yesterdays.
Say again, please.
And there's Miss
Yes. And that
on Spotify.
That was one.
My name.
Love that song.
But I don't know who's getting
Spotify
money.
It was one more
I gotta
song
look into that. It's true.
I know.
But as you were saying, go ahead.
On every level, man. So the other song too, I love very much. Yeah, I love it, but I can't think of the damn title. Miss Right?
Oh, Freeway Dreams. That's not. I haven't released it yet, but I'm going to.
Well,
Please.
I want to announce a milestone, if I may. Is that rude? That's rude.
I don't think you are.
I'm pooping on your parade.
I don't know what you're saying.
Well, let's say what the people think. Let's think what the people. Anyway, yes. It's called N1M, capital N, letter 1, and then capital M as in Mary, N1M. I believe it's #1 music. I reached 20,000 visits and listens, and I don't have that kind of draw on Facebook and Instagram because it's very highly saturated with everything. But this place, I think you should definitely put your stuff up there because they've been very kind. People write.
They're great.
Sounds like they're
fans
amazing. And friends. Yeah. So, when you find a group of people, I'm not even going to call it a demographic, too much business talk. You find a group of people that like what you do, you should have a right and fun to talk to everybody. I think this is great.
I've always said before, I'd like to do this more often. Certainly, if you'd like to, we can do this once a week. It wouldn't be a problem. Yeah, you and I can do this. But we'll talk about it off camera. Yeah, we could play guitars. You're right. Sam just said that we do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
We could, set it up as a podcast. We could put it up on YouTube. There's many in which to put it up.
Sure. Yeah. Also Facebook Live.
I mean, somebody wrote,
"Hey,
the stream is so cool and funny." Well, thank you, Marina. And someone. Yes, please.
Marina.
So they're suggesting we do this, Bill.
Okay, well, I'm in. And Marina,
save it for
a rainy day.
For cold wind to see how they run.
The back.
I thought they'd know. I tried my best, all I could do, but somehow it was not enough for you. Big wheels turning, baby, I know. Not at all. Big wheels turning, baby, I know. Not at all. Big wheels turning, turning, turning,
Turning, turning.
Is he turning? He's actually turning. Now, there's a man that believes in lyrics. What is all this stuff? Flowers. Did someone give me flowers? I never get flowers. Quinton?
He's
Samantha?
using his knife.
Knife? What's he
No
doing
idea.
with a knife? You know, when we were roommates, one time I woke up and I looked to the corner in a chair. Quentin was sitting there in his underwear, filing like he was, you know, how you take a piece of wood and kind of go against it with a knife. And I woke up. Oh, there he is. I woke up. Well, what are you doing here? I said, what are you doing here? He goes, just watching
what?
you sleep. Okay. I was telling the story about in my room when we lived together in the Woodland Hills, the earthquake. And do you remember my ex-girlfriend who rammed my car in?
Yeah, we did.
We had some fun times. What do I got here? So I was just telling him, I woke up one night, and you were sitting in the corner of my bedroom, whittling
I
a
was?
piece of wood with a knife, right? And yes, you were. In your underwear, eating chili in a can with your fingers, talking about bowling for dollars. I'm like, what are you doing in my room? He said,
Was
watching
this
sleep.
back in Woodland Hills? I wasn't. I couldn't have been whittling with that knife. You made that up, you bastard. You had me, but I thought that's great.
I like to have.
I don't need that going out there on social media because it's not true. No, it's funny though. I do remember that.
I'm just kidding, people.
It was believable. You scared me.
Never happened.
Oh yeah,
Samantha,
I
do you believe me? Okay. It never happened. Actually, Quentin was an amazing roommate. He really was. And I've had a couple.
In your time, right? No,
yeah,
are you alone now, or did you still have your roommate?
I am alone now. I sent an old man with Parkinson's. I kicked him out of my house. No, I sent him back home for a while. He'll come back.
Why? Close the fucking door, man. Change the locks. Yes.
He's my old friend from like high school, junior high. Change the locks. He'll trip. He'll probably have.
Don't do that.
I'll kill him. No.
Look at me.
No.
Phil.
No, I would.
Look at me.
I said he would kill himself.
Don't do that.
Okay. It's these kind of soft responses.
Well, that means
confuse me.
How about this? Don't do that.
I'm not going to. No. He's a good man. Except when he gets mad. He gets a little... You ever notice when you get along with someone, and even a woman, a man, doesn't matter, roommates, romantic relationships, family, and when people get comfortable with each other, they kind of show some ugly sides, like, like, what is that when people say passive-aggressive behavior? You see a lot of that. As a matter of fact, can I bring up the roommate you had?
Let's not.
Okay. I'm just saying, roommates, they think they're comfortable with you and they start doing things that they're comfortable with. I don't know, maybe biting your toenails off.
I had a roommate
something
for about 4 years back in Los Feliz on Kenmore, and sadly, he passed. We had been out of touch for quite a while. And he definitely made the house his home, and there were times when I don't know what he was thinking. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
It's
scary. I know. Roommates are
it can be
a rough situation. So
they're mindful like you are. You guys have some ground rules and open conversations, and and when things if things turn south and it's time to say goodbye, then That's it. It's goodbye. It's I can't have you back. I can't have you here, and I don't have to have a reason. Yeah, I don't have to explain.
Right. Right. It's my home.
Yeah,
I went
you
through hell
should
to
have it the way you
get
have it now,
right?
which is
So
just lovely and perfect the way you want it. And you can have it open to whomever you
thank you.
want or not, but it's yours to have that freedom.
Yes. And that's why I always talk about roommates, because I think it's really important. When you live alone and you're able to do that, you will every
Absolutely.
day probably feel gratitude. You know, I listen to these things late night.
Yeah,
If you're in the middle of a
you
signing,
can
I'm
talk to
sorry.
them for now, but I have to do this. Who goes out to Katrina?
Are you allowed somehow? Can you get these comments they're making? I
You
can't
can
go so
read
fast.
them.
I'd
Go
like
ahead.
to see what they're saying. Pots and pans.
You
I've
don't.
seen constantly. I can't. I'm sorry.
You can just read.
I'm gonna read
You
these.
can say a part of their name.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
Oh,
If
right.
you
You don't
can't,
want
all
to.
I'm saying
I'm
is if you
sorry.
can't read the whole name, like, you know,
Moda something. Modo just joined.
oh no, here
Welcome.
it is.
Moda
Carla
something.
said, here it is. Carla said, this has to do, Bill, with what we're talking about, roommate situation. She said, I somehow have the reputation of a hippie and constantly have to remind people that I have thrown pots and pans. In other words, he's not one dimensional.
Sure. Which right. And of course that's that's the rally cry of the hippie is to throw pots and
100%.
pans and whatever you got in your kitchen. That's right. Let your freak flag
you mean
pot
let your
throwing
freak flag
live.
fly?
That's what I love. There it
There it
is.
is.
So what's going on? I love it. I like that. What are you wearing it? What's with the? Tell me about.
I don't
what you
know,
got
man.
going on here.
This is it, baby.
I,
Yeah,
I like it. You got good
natural.
curls, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
natural. Is it? Oh, really? It's cool,
just
man.
it's.
No,
Oh, it's
I didn't say curl. I said cool, man.
cool,
It's the
man.
real thing, huh? Hey, baby.
Yeah,
That's a nice cut for you. No,
I only had it
I'm not a
trimmed
hair
once,
aficionado.
I think, in the last year, and it could use another like trim because the ends are a little frizzy, but that's fine. You know, that's what they say.
Split ends, they call them, my friend. I don't know what they mean. Curse you.
Oh, yeah. I was loving what you just said. She's like, yeah.
Oh,
The
okay.
humor and
Right.
the love and all
Emojis. I'm
that.
still learning.
And the truth.
Hardware.
Always the truth.
The
And
truth.
the
Always
underlying
the
truth with the humor, of course. You know, the rally cry you said of the hippies, and she's like this, you know, she's digging it.
I didn't know they had pots and pans.
Hello.
I thought they all bathed in one well.
And on
Okay.
muddy water. No, the muddy water,
muddy water?
from
In there?
Woodstock. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, she apparently she's a surfer too. Looks like she's a surfer. What you say?
Oh, the hippie girl?
Oh no, I still haven't written it. Bill, all you have to do is read it. It's right in front of you.
Hippie?
Yeah, it's on the stream. Don't you see the stream?
I see it when they keep passing by. I say, yeah, I can read that. You're talking about
That's
revolving
correct.
commentary. It goes faster than I can see it. Constantine on no. All right.
I don't know.
I'm getting. Oh my God.
All right.
What happened? Who said
You
on my
do that.
shoulder?
Okay.
I'm getting to it.
And I will fight.
You sign.
Her name
My God.
is
So
Carla.
where is the hippie chick girl?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Carla, do you shave your underarms? Let's prove it.
Well,
Are you a really hippie
that's a
chick?
good question. Man, don't
Is that, I hope that's not rude. I'm sorry, Carla.
I'm just
curious.
I'm gonna fight.
I stopped shaving my legs.
Did you ever start?
Anybody?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, one leg only. I was trying to start a thing. A
Well,
movement. Didn't
try
really catch
again.
on though.
You never know. Hey, the movement you need is on your shoulder. Go ahead.
Now wait a minute. Okay, so I was listening to you sing, and I love when you sing. You have a great tone and timbre, and your vibrato sounds interesting to me. So I thought, what is the derivation, the origin
That's a
of
good.
your vibrato? Definitely.
I don't know.
Do you know what would you say?
I don't.
Okay.
You help me.
I'll help you. Oh yeah, it's simple. I think you're gonna like the answer. The British bands that wanted to sound American, not just British, but you sound like what I was saying earlier about
Yes.
music, how you should know what came before you, or maybe you don't need
Oh,
to
you mean,
know, but
buddy?
it's fun to recognize it. So without the Beatles without the British invasion, your music would be something else, wouldn't it? Okay. They had a big influence on us. It doesn't mean that you hear it and it sounds, oh, that sounds like the Beatles or that sounds like the Kinks. There was a band, yes, called the Kinks. And it was a time in music. Historical.
Well,
That's what I want to say.
And
And
say where I got
do
my
people like Ed
vibrato
Sheeran?
influence from specifically.
Well,
Like
the
what band?
British invasion. Well, definitely
Bee Gees.
the Beatles, but I think you end up with Beatles are too easy. I think you go from Badfinger. I hear Badfinger vibrato. I hear Ray Davies and Kinks vibrato. Those bands, I'd say lesser
ELO
known, but
or
still
no?
as good.
Yeah.
ELO?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jeff Lynne. Okay,
That's
telephone line.
Because
Am
I
I
do
there?
remember
Okay, I got it.
recording, and there were times I had people saying to me, "Would you please flatten it out and cut the vibrato?" And I was like, "I'll try."
Okay.
I wasn't trying to do it, but I can. I mean, if I did, "Hello, how are you?" It's in there. But if I
love it. And there's
oh
Eric
yeah,
Carmen
well
too a little bit.
I mean he's tough because he had that odd tone. Like it's almost his full voice has a bit of that whispery falsetto. Right, so just naturally, never gonna fall in love again. Like that's me. If it's Eric, never gonna fall. Wait, never gonna fall in love again. With someone
Right.
new. What is that? That's him. But
It's
if I try
lilting.
to do it,
It's
it
him.
sounds like
Right.
a little odd.
But I'm not talking about your impersonations are
No.
spot on. I'm not talking about that. Thank you. You're welcome. But when I'm talking about music, I'm talking about when you're influenced, inspired by artists, but you don't really know.
I don't.
You don't really put it together. You don't sound like somebody exactly. It's just reminiscent of a time. And you've always brought that to your music.
And I
think that's great.
I'm all in, and I'm ready to release the 2 singles finally, and I have a photo which I want to show you. But in the meantime, this one goes out to Katarina Mutafi, and you wanted a lyric from Heart Won't Die, and here it is. The lyric is, here you go, Sam. I took from and, I cut the and, that's why I have the ellipses. I will fight for what is right. Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
So I was saying these stories, cartoons, animated, probably older folk, like my father would have said, this is, for children. It's animated. But the thing is, not only the stories are Shakespearean scope, there's also a strong good, evil and bad versus good. It's pretty cool, the storylines, these things. It's a lot more intelligent than maybe people know. Speaking from a non-comic book person. Sorry. I'm learning
this is another character that I get to voice act. His name is Axel. This is a portrait, an 8x10 of Axel. And this I'm signing to Dylan. And no special instructions that I have here. Are you there? All right. I'm going to sign this to Dylan. Let me show you this. This is beautiful. I'm excited about this because I haven't seen it in a while.
I know you're doing that, but Quinton, I think the people would love to hear your process. And I'd have a question about that. So you're in the studio and you're given a character. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know how you guys do this on your side of the world, but you're given a character. Is the choice of voice yours, or is there a director or producer?
Well,
Have a certain idea,
I
or is
mean,
it
it
just all
depends.
you?
If I get a role, it's usually I audition for it, and they know what they want, but they don't know it until they
Right.
hear it. And once they hear it, then they select
Okay.
that actor, and in my case, then it would be me, and give them what I've got. And sometimes we shape it together, but once we find it and lock it in, that's it. When I guest
That's it.
on projects or have to do additional voices, they'll tell me what they're looking for, and then I'll give it to them just like a session player would. When you have your session guys
Okay. Right.
on one of your songs, you're like, you know, you'll be sitting there, you're producing it along with the co-produce, and you guys will be talking and along with the engineer, like, I want this kind of sound. This is what I'm looking for. You guys would sit here, can you tweak that?
Yeah.
Then, oh, what are we going to tell this guy?
Yeah.
He's close, but we want this. I know how to talk to him. Like, this is how he hears things. Let me talk. So that's exactly how they would talk to me, and I use my instrument the same way a guitarist does. And, and
Thank you. Well explained. I just hope everybody understands the process.
I made it very simple, and I kind of minimized it just for economy, only for this sake of saying, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. This is a beautiful print you can have. This goes out to Dylan. And I put a lot of love to Dylan there. This is Axel from Kingdom Hearts. And here you go, Sam. How many more do we have?
Let's see.
This is wonderful. I know. I'm digging it. I think you have a different hairstyle every time I see you.
It's like 4 ago.
Talk to you. You know, women collect shoes. I
Are you
can't
talking about you or me? Yeah. I
both, actually.
I still have shoes that maybe I should get rid of, but I wouldn't call them a collection. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I looked in a box the other day and I realized I have shoes that I just, you know, they fit me, so I've kept them, and they're still in style, but I don't have 50 pairs of shoes or 50 pair. You know, I have like 3 pairs of shoes I wear, and then I have another 5 that I look at and think I should throw these out. I don't remember the last time I wore them, but there's gonna be a time.
Right.
Hold on 1 second.
Read that carefully once it's written in red.
I bet Samantha has more shoes than you do.
Samantha doesn't collect shoes, so I have to.
Really?
She'll wear
first girl I've met
all day, and I say, "Look, you need shoes."
He's the fashion.
You can't just wear slippers.
I said that, but she doesn't agree.
He's the fashion between us.
Yeah. I am the fashion maven.
He's the fashion maven.
Hey, this one goes out to Brian. Brian asks, "Can you write all that talk about justice? And here I am, just another killer." In red.
Someone's saying hi to you here. Ifianara, I'm sorry if I got blew your name. Ifianara says, "Hi, Quinton. How are you doing?" So say hi. Someone gave us a D. That Ezra character.
Extra gravy.
Extra
How are you keeping up so far? You know what? I'm trying extra gravy, and let me tell you, here's what's going on. I was told I only had a few more, and a few in my head means 3 or 4. I have got 6 more to go. So if you guys will be patient, I would be so grateful. So I have to write this, all that talk about justice, ... And here I am, just another killer in red. How dare you? Here's the thing. I'm doing